Oh, hey bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. I'm like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know. Hello, hello, hello. Look, everybody's up in here telling me my mic is off. I did that whole goddamn spiel and nobody heard me. Can you imagine if I did this whole show with no sound? I thought my mic was on the whole damn time. It's weird. Oh, okay. So now they're saying that y'all can hear me. Child, I am a mess. So I'm not gonna go through that whole spiel again. So literally, I was saying, I went and bought me a Halloween costume, spent about $100, and I couldn't figure out the overall look. So I went into oh yeah, because I just realized I had it on a different audio setting. So now, yeah, everything is working. Oh, so I see like everybody saying, "Can't hear." Here's your mic on. It said, like, yes, please like the thing. I can't hear your voice. Thank you for your transmission. God bless you from New York. Ew. Okay, so apparently everything is back to normal. I was like, I did a whole 10-minute thing and nobody heard it. It'd be like that sometimes. But this is why I should be looking at the comments and stuff sometime before I even, just be rambling because I don't be having it on. But anyway, I still let's say, yeah, I went yesterday. I was supposed to meet up with friends of mine who came in from Spain, but they were only here for like 48 hours, and now they're in DC, but they are going back in 2 weeks. So we're gonna have to meet up again because it was just like it was a mess what was going on. So I never got to meet up with my friend and his husband who came from Spain or whatever. So we're gonna meet up in 2 weeks. Plus, I want to buy a Halloween costume, and I couldn't figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So I just wound up going in the store, and it's kind of was like letting inspiration, take me in whatever direction they wanted them to take me in. So I figured out something. I came up with like this Purge-esque type of vibe that I have going on in regards of the overall, my overall look. So y'all will see it when we do our Halloween Eve episode, because Halloween I'm actually working. And then afterwards, I might just hang out in the city and just go around to like West 4th Street, because I know that isn't that what do they still do the Halloween parade? It's been so long since I've done the Halloween parade. I don't even know if they still do it. But I'm sure like if I'm just walking around in the streets, everybody's gonna be in a costume. So the only thing I hate is the fact that I'm gonna have to walk around with my bag with my regular clothes in it with my Halloween stuff. That's the only thing that's gonna irritate me, is the fact that on Halloween I'm gonna have to walk around with my work stuff, because I wish I could leave it in at work, because there's some people that just have access to a locker and they can leave their stuff in there overnight. But me, or some of us, a lot of us don't have our own locker, so we can't leave our stuff in at work. And I don't like leaving my stuff unattended unless I have to. So I don't want to leave the bag there. So that's the only thing that's going to irritate me, is that I got to walk around with the bag plus the Halloween costume. So I'm kind of going back and forth on like, damn, did I waste money just to do a show? But anyway. So yeah, I know y'all probably missed the spiel of all the things we're gonna be talking about, because apparently my damn mic wasn't on. So we're gonna talk about the Menendez brothers. We're gonna talk about Jennifer Lopez. Apparently her ex-husband is saying that she was at them freak offs. So he's spilling tea. Plus Jamie Foxx is addressing whether or not Diddy was responsible for his hospitalization, because he did a Netflix special, and some people said that he blames the diddler. So, and then plus we're gonna talk about Kim Kardashian is pissed off at her ex-husband. I know you're probably talking about which one, because all of them probably pissed off at her. But we're talking about Kanye. So, and then Lamar Odom's weighing in on the whole Liam Payne thing, because, he has a drug addiction past, but now he runs a bunch of rehabilitation programs, so he weighs in on that. Plus, we got to talk about Todd Chrisley getting fired from his job up in the clink because he was being a chatty Cathy. And then Halle Berry got herself a win. We're going to talk about Madonna, whose bedtime stories turns 30. Child, I feel old. Then we got to talk about another member of the pit crew is competing on Drag Race, and Greg Mathis' son, Judge Mathis, tied the knot with his man. So we got to talk about that and a whole lot more. Oh, so speaking of which, maybe we should talk about, before we get to the topics, we got to talk about Lady Gaga, because not even yesterday, midnight, she dropped Disease. I want your ugly, I want your disease. I want your coochie as long as it's free. I want your love. I know she don't say that.
But, you know, I like to change people's lyrics. But anyway, so I listened to it and I like it. I listened to it like 3 times back to back. I went to bed. I'm like, okay. Gaga's she going back to the old Gaga. She taking us back to the Fame monster Gaga. And we already knew, kind of like based off the previews that she was giving with the song with a couple of the songs when I think it was, what was she, in Paris or something or another? I think it was around the time when she was doing the when she sang at the Olympics. She gave fans a little taste of what we could expect from LG7. And we kind of felt like, okay, Lady Gaga was going in more of an industrial direction, which now you know this is a goddamn joke. Somebody said, I think the main reason Democrat gays hate Republican gays is because we are hotter than them. Yeah, okay. And y'all are delusional, because I don't know who said y'all was hot. Y'all look like the sloth from the Goonies. But anyway, oh, and then they said, all right, well, we don't care about what Ariana Grande has to say, but apparently she is loving the Disease song. Good for you, niece. But I'm screaming. But I have to say, like, you know what? I'm looking for, I mean, did they drop the video yet? I don't think they dropped the video, but I have to say, like, you know what? I actually like the song. I think it's a cute song. I like that Gaga is going back to basics. Now, I do hope, because I know, Robert, if you in the building, I know that at one point I saw the little thread that y'all had in the group chat that we're in, the Rebel Hearts group chat, that y'all was sitting there doing a whole citation or dissertation, whatever the hell the word is. You know, it's early in the morning. I can't be getting in my TI bag and coming up with all the expeditious big words that he like to use to show how smart he is. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, it's a cute song. And I just hope that since this, you know, since the Fame monster, and if that's the direction she's going into, that sound, lyrically, all that other stuff has evolved. Like, I don't want, you know, okay, if you're giving us, oh, we're going back to the basics, we're going back to the Fame monster era, but you're not evolving the sound, you're not giving us something different. And don't get me wrong, I was living for that chorus. The chorus was good. Oh, and you know what's another thing that I live for? The fact that shit was over 2.5 minutes. That's another thing that I was happy about too. I was like, finally, a pop song that's longer than 3 minutes. See, America? We can listen to a song longer than 2.5 damn minutes. I don't want that. Gotta go in, gotta go out, because we gotta be a slave to the algorithm, and we gotta have stuff running. You know, y'all want to keep having the set, like, we gotta keep it going. We gotta keep it going. We gotta keep those streams up so we can get 1 million streams, and then you get like what, 3 cents? So okay, so here's the thing. Now I have to say this. I'm living for this picture. Hold on. I don't know if y'all seen it, honey. But I was like, okay, Gaga, I'm looking for this photo here. If I could pull it up. Hold on. And then when you look at the picture, it's like you see like she got these vein marks in her face, what makes it look like she has some sort of disease. It's kind of reminded me of also of the Born This Way era. Remember when she had those little prosthetics and stuff on her face, was trying to make her look like a little alien of sorts, and people felt like the makeup job was looking a little low budget. But she got an A for effort in trying to push the envelope in regards to the overall aesthetic. So I gave her that. But I'm definitely curious to hear what this new album is. I'm not going to be too hard on her yet. We know we get the pretentiousness, allegations and stuff from her. But it's just like, if you got a good song, if you got a bop, I'll definitely listen to it. So far, so good. I like the song. I like the fact that it's, like I said, longer than 2.5 minutes. And who knows, when I'm done with this show and I'm on my way to the city, because I do have to work tonight, and I'm gonna go and get in a quick workout, that I'll probably be listening to it some more. But I'm gonna still have Tension 2 on repeat, because I've been having that album literally on repeat this whole week. Mother Minogue, you have definitely done that with this record. I'm still mad that it's 29 minutes, and I guess we can't change it. Although she does have an extended version of the album that you can get off of her website. But then when I went on there to try to purchase it, which was $4, by the way, she said they said it's not available in my country. Excuse you. So maybe what I need y'all to do is just hurry up and release it on like Apple, so I could just I could just listen to it there and possibly download it that way. Okay, you said Happy Emma Bunton. Yeah, her old music and stuff is back. And I remember I used to listen to Free Me a lot. I totally forgot about that album, probably because it wasn't available on like all the streaming services and stuff. But now that it is, we could listen to her. But okay. But anyway. So yeah, that was my overall song, because I was like, let me not forget about Lady Gaga. She released a new single last, and I know Megan Thee Stallion released a new song too. I was like, okay, whatever. I listened to a little bit of it. I was like, I don't have the energy after listening to Disease to listen to some old laid back Southern hip hop type of, beat or whatever. I was just like, girl, I'm not here for it. Megan, I like the idea of Megan Thee Stallion, but I just feel like she ain't give me nothing new musically in what she does. So she is not getting, another thing, that's what a lot of people probably feels like. We like the idea of Megan, the execution of the music ain't given. Now the one I am living for, bitch, I'm living for Glorilla. Her new album, when I tell you, I'm living for her and Doechii. Those are my two favorite albums from female rappers of 2024. Megan, I like you, but the music is not giving. Sorry. There's no shade. I'm just saying. Oh, Halle took it off. It was only available for the first. Wait, she took what off? The extended version? She better put it back. Look at David in the building. I do like the new Gaga song. Yes, I like the song too. That album, what she came out is a mixtape? I can't tell these days. When y'all be having like 12, 13, 15 tracks on stuff, I'll be assuming that it's an album. But yes, Doechii is giving my life, and I'm liking the new Glorilla record. But Megan, you cute or whatever, and you worked hard on that body, but I need more than just being cute in a video. I need some bops. And musically, you have not evolved. But anyway, so let's get into our first topic. Since we 20 minutes in, because I have my audio issues. And let's talk about the Menendez brothers. So apparently yesterday, and I was watching it too on my phone, because David Muir was on there doing the whole situation. I think it was like interrupted all around the United States. I don't know outside the world, because I don't know what goes on, except we're not getting into the whole thing of like how I found out my world news. But for the most part, let's just focus on the Menendez brothers. So it's a LA County District Attorney George Gascon has recommended resentencing for Lala Eric Menendez, who are each serving life in prison without parole. I thought it was serving a double life sentence. I remember hearing that. But it doesn't matter, right? It's just they're in prison for the rest of their life. So I think basically I feel like it's gonna be good news that So it says the LA County District Attorney said on Thursday he'll recommend that a judge resentence Lila Eric Menendez nearly 30 years after the brothers were convicted of the murders of their parents, a recommendation that he said would make them eligible for immediate parole. After very careful review of all arguments made from people on both sides of this equation, I came to a place where I believe under the law resentencing is appropriate, and I'm going to recommend that to a court tomorrow. This is what DA George Gascon said, or maybe should I call him Jorge Gascon, said at an afternoon news conference in Los Angeles. The brothers have been serving life without the possibility of parole since their 1996 convictions of first-degree murder in the 1989 killings of their parents, Jose and Kitty, in their California mansion. Gascon's decision to recommend a resentencing, the culmination of a review that came after defense attorneys said in 2023 they had new evidence pointing to abuse by their father, was made about an hour before he announced it. He said that I believe that they have paid their debt to society, and the system provides a vehicle for their case to be reviewed by a parole board, and if the board concurs with my assessment, they will be released accordingly. This is what he said in front of a packed room that included several media outlets and family members. And I actually agree with Jorge Gascon, because they have paid their debt to society. They've been in jail for over 3 decades. They've been in jail for at least, 30, almost 35 years. And I feel like they have paid their debt to society. You haven't heard anything of them behind bars getting in any kind of trouble with anybody. I've heard that they've been, doing the Lord's work behind the scenes in regards to prison and, in the prison thing. I don't remember all the details of what it is that they're doing behind, in prison, but they have been model citizens in jail. And isn't the point of people being in prison that you're supposed to rehabilitate them so that when you let them out back into the wild, that they don't go back to doing the things that they used to do? Now, we're not going to act like that people don't revert back to their old ways, because a lot of times people feel like, I'd rather 3 hots in a cot than have to actually go back out in the real world and figure out how I can live in society. Because when you become accustomed to being behind bars and COs and things of that nature telling you what time to get up, what time when you can wash your ass, when you can eat, when you can sleep, when you do all these things, when you go out into the real world and you actually realize you got freedom, then it's like you don't know what to do with that. So I feel like the Menendez brothers have paid their debt. Now, we're not sitting up here and trying to say like, oh, they're animals and they shouldn't have killed their parents. Yeah, we know that they shouldn't have killed their parents. People shouldn't be out here murdering nobody, regardless of the situation. But sometimes, depending on this, I always try to look at things on a case-by-case basis. I don't generalize. Like, I had somebody in my damn comments on Facebook tried me and was up in there saying like, oh, well, if that's the case, y'all let them out. You need to let out all these other people. And I was like, why are we always trying to lump everybody into one sum? You can have your opinion and give it. However, like when you said what you said, but then let me channel my girl Candy Burris. What you said was some bullshit. And it's like, if you have paid your debt to society, if you've been in jail since the 90s and it is 2024, and you've done all you needed to do to get better, and even because some people be like, okay, well, I'm in jail for the rest of my life, so I need GAF about what happens. So I could be up in here and do crazy stuff and get thrown in solitary confinement. But they've been proven to be model citizens. You haven't heard anything negative about the Menendez brothers and them getting caught up in some mess. So if this is a prime example of prison inmates doing the work to make themselves better, because they were in a position of they didn't feel like they had a way out of their situation, because back in the 90s, the way that y'all looked at SA between men and young boys, especially when we talk about on this show that what is the percentage of women who actually come forward about being R-worded? Less than 3%. So you can only imagine how guys are that are being abused. And it's not like, I don't want to do the comparison, but since Ryan Murphy did it, let's bring it up, right? Look, it's not like the Menendez brothers is like John Wayne Gacy, who, sidebar, I just read this article that was on page 6. I kind of wish I would have brought it up, like had it here to tell y'all about it, but I'm going to just tell you in passing. If y'all want to look it up, you can look it up. But there was a guy who was an actor that said that he was assaulted sexually by John Wayne Gacy. He was a clown, dressed up as a clown, all this other stuff, and killed a bunch of, like they said, 30 boys back in I think in the 70s. So back in 1978, 46 years ago, he said that he was walking down the street and John Wayne Gacy was in a car. A van, whatever. It came up on him, asked him if he needed a ride. He got in the car, whatever. Asked him if he was into poppers. Basically put it over his face. He was passed out, chained up in the apartment. He said that basically John R-worded him for a couple of hours, got tired of him, and was like, oh, I'm gonna just let you go back home, whatever. And he said he didn't report it because he didn't know that John Wayne Gacy was John Wayne Gacy. So it's not the Menendez brothers, in my opinion, is not like John Wayne Gacy or Jeffrey Dahmer and that sort of thing. They didn't go around being a menace to society, deliberately going around killing people. Now, how they went about it with the premeditation or would it be premeditated? But the fact that they didn't go around like, okay, they went and lied over the phone. It was like, oh my God, somebody killed my parents, and blaming it on the mob and all that stuff that was set up, and it all came out. Y'all know the story, because Eric went and blabbed to their damn therapist and confessed. And then the therapist had all the recordings, and then Judalon stank behind went and spilled the tea. because she was a scorned woman because the therapist was out here sleeping with his damn with his client patient. And you know, you messing with these crazies, you don't think that a scorned woman's gonna go out here and start spilling tea? So all of that stuff that came out. And so I feel like in a way that, yeah, they paid their debt to society and they should be freed. Now we'll find out if that ends up happening. But for the most part, I actually hope that they get out of jail. Now, they said a LA Superior Court judge will ultimately decide whether to resentence the brothers, while Gascon says he'd make his recommendation to the court Friday, which is today. A date for a hearing on the matter has not been determined. So this could probably take about a month or about 45 days. So I feel like we probably won't know what happens to them until about November, maybe around Thanksgiving. So I'm going to give it around that time. Thanksgiving, more than likely, or I'll even push it to December 1st. So but look, the thing is, they said that because the crimes happened when they were under 26, under California law, they would be eligible for youthful parole, because they said that he supports the resentencing of the brothers to life without the possibility of parole, which normally would mean 50 years of life in prison. But yeah, like I said, but because the crimes happened when they were under 26, under California law, they would be eligible for youthful parole. So he also said that we're very sure not only that the brothers have rehabilitated and will be safe to be reintegrated into our society, but they have paid their dues not only for the crimes that they have committed, but because of all the things they have done to improve the lives of so many others. So they basically let us know what it is that they've been doing behind in the prison, which is, they said that the men created groups to address how to deal with untreated trauma and helping inmates with physical disabilities. So they've been model citizens. They've been doing the work. They've actually been trying to help other inmates behind bars and dealing with unwanted trauma. So if they behind the scenes doing that, then I'm definitely here for the fact that, okay, so now they probably can be integrated back into society. So I'm here for it. And I know there's some people out here that throw them under the jail. They didn't believe me in the jail. I just felt, and then somebody, the same person had the nerve to bring up, when it comes to they treating them different because they're not black, and no. I said, okay, now here we go with the whole black white situation. First of all, they're Latino, but I get it because they're white presenting. They'll bring this thing up, but I feel like the reason why this case is being brought up is because I think that we're in. I don't know. I think maybe it's social media has something to do with it, because I know before people were like, well, they've done so many other documentaries and things on the Menendez brothers. Why now? And I think it's probably because we have the documentary that just came out on Netflix. Now, prior to that, maybe like a couple of weeks prior, we had the 9-episode series from Ryan Murphy that came out that got everybody trending and talking on social media. Plus, Gascon, if I'm not mistaken, is up for re-election. So politics plays into it as well. This is a good case for somebody to jump on, so that way it helps with their political aspirations or legality allegations or aspirations, whatever it is that you got going on. And you know, a lot of attorneys, lawyers, judges and stuff, they're very much into politics. They're the ones that make the laws and put all that stuff into place. So I could definitely say that this is probably a political move on his part. So it would definitely look good on his resume that he got them free. And I feel like now we're at a point where people are comfortable wanting to talk about sexual abuse, especially when it comes to boys and men and that sort of thing. I just told you about this article that came out from the Here's Why Instagram, where Kevin posted on his thing about how the Catholic Church just paid out $1 billion stemming back from abuse happening in the 1940s. Because of some stuff. So it's definitely a topic that I feel like a lot of people are finally getting comfortable with talking about. And we need to normalize the fact that, yes, sexual abuse can happen on all sides, not with just one gender. So I told this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Would y'all be here or not here for the Menendez brothers getting out of jail? I feel like they've paid their debt to society. They're ready to be unleashed into the wild. And I feel like if they are let out into the world, I don't feel like they'll commit any other crime. They just got to figure out, I guess, how they can navigate through the world. And I feel like the family members that have been behind them and windmilling hard for them in the press will help them get where they need to get. And another thing I'm wondering too, so I get off this, when they get out of the clink, right? Will they have access to their trust fund? Like, is there a trust fund? Because I know at one point, remember when they murdered their parents, they went on a shopping spree. So I do wonder is their money still left over? Do they will they have access to money? Did Jose leave them money behind in the will? Like, I would definitely want to know, like, based off of how everything was set up in the 90s or the 80s, because they were killed in 89. How he had everything set up. Will they have access to anything going forward? So I'm wondering how they're going to be able to survive post, being in jail. Unless, you know how the society is. The minute criminals get out of jail, you want to offer them reality shows, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, or you want to have them on the Kardashians, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and all this other stuff. Or you want to buy them new teeth, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Yeah, she got a whole makeover and a baby on the way. And new penis. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Have you seen the last one? Oh, you talking about Doja? You talking about the one, what was the song that she did recently? She collaborated with somebody. We ain't talking about Katy Perry. Katy Perry is tired. Was it Banks? She did a video with her. I was like, okay, you giving my life with this one. And I felt like the sexual, like the humping on the bed and them two kind of doing the lesbian thing, it was more believable than that kids table crap that she was trying to do with Katy Perry. I'm like, y'all look uncomfortable up there trying to scissor each other in front of these basic behind straight people. The last song that says 1, 2, 3, 4. I may not be familiar with the lyrics and stuff, but yeah, I have to look into that. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Hannaford. We got a lot of Hannaford tea. So, Ohani Noah, her first husband, is spilling tea. And I love the fact that, out of all of her exes, Ohani don't give a damn. He's like, F that B. I'm gonna put all her tea out in the street, or basically to say all the stuff that you did about her. So now there's a couple of things. There's two things I want to get into. So I want to break it down. Now there's one where he blamed Diddy for their breakup because he says that, when they were working on her debut album On the 6th is when she started getting, too big for her damn britches and started getting beside her stuff and acting like her poop didn't stink. So Lopez's ex recently made a guest appearance on Despierta America, where he spoke, y'all gonna call it Americana? Whatever. That's what y'all call y'all shows. We're just gonna go with it. Where they said when he spoke about how his 11-month marriage to the on-the-floor hitmaker and spilled what he feels led to their relationship demise. He said part of that divorce was Diddy's fault. This is what he said about the Bad Boys record founder, who was arrested in prison in September for, the racketeering and the trafficking charges, all that mess. So he says when Sony came and paid her the million she got, there was Puffy, who was going to be one of the producers of several tracks on the first album On the 6th. This is what the Cuban actor said via an English translation from Espanol. Here's the thing. How did Jennifer Lopez get in a relationship with somebody that doesn't speak really good English, but she could barely speak Spanish? Because, I know that, shout out to the Latino community, y'all be reading her down to the floor with the way she be speaking her Spanish. I mean, she tries, though, I feel like quiet as a cat. That's why she got with Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony was going to help her infiltrate that market. But I feel like with many of her relationships, she got with a lot of these men because it benefited her. But we'll get into that in a second. So he said that's where the deception, the lies, the separation started. Now, Noah said it was when he and Lopez began drifting further apart, recalling he said, I was in LA opening my restaurant and she was between Miami and New York working on the album. When I could, I would go to be with her. There in that distance, in that separation was where the deception started. Aside from losing Lopez as his wife, Noah said his career was also severely impacted once the Let's Get Loud singer's own success started skyrocketing under Combs's wing. He said, I would ask Jennifer, What did I do to you that you would have taken me to court? You have accused me. You have lied. You have created false things about me, and you have called several companies to throw me out and different television networks not to give me work. Why, if I have not done anything to you, let her tell the truth. Let her tell everything that happened. So he's basically saying that basically Hennifer ruined his career, that he was an actor, a waiter, but also an actor, as most actors are. You are the waiters, bartenders, you work your part-time gig, whatever, and then that's, you know, what you do until you have an audition, whatever the case is, and that's how it was. So he was on his way up and trying to be an actor. She was an actress as well, but once she hit, you know, jackpot by spreading her legs for you know, a boost in her career, which we've all been saying it for years. A lot of y'all be trying, oh, she loves them. No, the bitch loves an opportunity. And if her coochie is gonna get her on said opportunity, she gonna ride that Payne to get her where she need to go. Hence, let's look at the discography in regard, or the penography in regards of how her career goes. And I don't give a fuck if it makes me sound misogynistic. You go and you lay the breadcrumbs, you be following the yellow brick road, sis. And when you laid out the breadcrumbs for us to follow to get to the gingerbread house, this is the catalyst and the altercation or the situation of the situation and what we going with. So it is what it is. And Jennifer Lopez fans, go get bad with, go argue with your mammy. I don't care. She the one that laid out this whole situation and want to sit up here and call, I love love. No, you don't. You don't know what love is. She don't know what love is. Somebody needs to show her. But anyway, so this is damn coffee that got me all animated. Because, but anyway, so she said, okay, so she got with, when she was with Ohani, Ohani was the regular guy. They were both struggling. They were on their way up. Then, of course, because she did Selena, you know, she had done little things here and there. Yeah, she was a fly girl. Yeah, she had done her little smaller movies. But it wasn't until she did Selena that all of a sudden she thought she could beady bomb her way onto a music career. And don't get me wrong, I was one of those people who was like, you know what, she got what it takes. Like, I could definitely see her putting out a record. I did say that in my head when, you know, around when her career first started, which, of course, she was smart enough to capitalize on that. Yeah, she's not the best singer in the world, but she could pull herself. She's in the category of like a Britney and a Janet Jackson, mid-voice, but she could dance. And she could definitely entertain and put on a show. And I don't care if y'all feel like that's a straight. Janet Jackson whispers. You got to stick literally 5 microphones up her ass to hear what the hell she's saying. And don't even get me on started on Britbot and the fact that she do that stupid robot, what is it, that doll baby voice, which ruined what little type of tone she actually had. So they got to do all kinds of trickery to make her sound good in the studio. So Jennifer went. Yeah, she did the whole thing with Tommy Mottola. Of course, if you listen to Mariah Carey, Mariah said that she a damn plant, that she was basically used by Tommy Mottola in order for her to get the career that she wanted or to destroy her career. But Mariah still showed her, look, Mariah's still that B. Say what you want about Mariah, but Mariah got the talent at the end of the day. Mariah can write a song. Mariah's got had the idea. She a little washed up now. And she still got her little thing where she the queen of Christmas. So she got her little thing that she could do where she could always make her coin. And then she can get up on stage and half-ass it while, you know, singing them hits. So I'm going to throw a little stray, but I'm going to also give Mariah her props. But Jennifer, you know, she saw opportunity and ran with it. So, of course, when she getting with the music, and of course, she in the studio with Puffy, and Puffy knows everything and has all the power and the influence and can help catapult you to a certain place. When you look at an Ohani, yeah, you're no use for her. Well, she needs you there. You don't offer her anything. It's like, I got this thing over here. And so, you know what? Shout out to Jaguar Wright. You know, any other time she'd be a lunatic with the stuff that she be saying. I'd be having to side her and stuff. But when I saw this video, and shout out to friend of the show, Cleveland Legends. He sent me something in a message that I laughed. I had the cackle of all cackles because she said something about Jennifer Lopez and the fact that she basically is okay as a talent. Like, she can't sing, but they put a microphone in front of her. And then of all the men, you know, out of all the men that she's been in a relationship with, none of the men, they all ran for the hills. The only one who said that she was the one that got away was Diddy. She's so basically saying that how is it that the devil of all people, I'm paraphrasing, is the one that said that they miss you, but everybody else done ran for the hills. What does that say about her? They probably 2 peas in a damn pod. because it was like, then what was it? Then after she had no use for the diddler, then who she got with? Who's the one that she got with after the diddler? Was it Chris Judd? Because that's when she came out with the J-Lo album. And then that's when she also started messing with Ja Rule and them. And that's when Mariah came out and said that was the sabotage, because there was a sound that she was trying to do where she was like sampling old songs, like old school hits and all this other stuff, and kind of going in that whole R&B hip hop type of vibe where she was bringing rappers and stuff into the music. And all of a sudden Hannaford jumped on that because of Tommy Mottola. And sometimes I'll be wondering about Thalia. Is she being held captive? I saw this old clip of Thalia on the Wendy Williams show, and she looked like she might have been in captivity. Somebody, it was love at first sight. Girl, you know you alive, but look, that's who she want to be in a relationship with, then go ahead, sis. Go off. So then look, and then we have to just look at the pattern. So Chris Judd was just like, okay, just a little background dancer. You know, I don't have to really do much of anything because the music career is taking off. So I really can just, you know, do whatever. And then it was just like, okay, now Chris is boring me. So now what's the next thing? Then after that, didn't she get with Ben Affleck? So now Ben Affleck, oh, now he's going to help me be taken seriously in Hollywood as an actress, because everybody's looking at me as Miss Taco Burrito. So now if I get with this white man, then I can get in them rooms with the A-listers. And they're going to take me serious as an actress. They still didn't take you serious as actresses, but she thought, let me latch onto this white penis, and then it's going to get me where I need to go. Then after Ben Affleck ran for the hills the first time, because he did it a second time, but we got to go back to the first time, which she came out with that horrible ass This Is Me Then album. I don't know why she thought that shit needed a sequel. I ain't even like the first one. It's the same thing like with Venom. Y'all really thought Venom, whatever the stupid third in this franchise, was going to be any better when the last two movies was trash? Same thing with This Is Me Then. This Is Me Then was trash. This Is Me Now. What y'all thought? Y'all was going to get the bop of all centuries? Oh, it showed in them record sales. Nobody cared. And I'm just being honest in this situation. Take with it as you will. But I'm just going based off the assessment. So she did This Is Me Then because head was up in the cloud. This man loves me. He ran for the hills the first time. Probably because you put that coochie on him. And you know these white men, the minute they get that old little urban coochie, they don't know what to do with it. Because it's something new, shiny and new, touched for the very first time like a virgin. So after that, then it was like, okay, now I'm going to come back home because I need to be taken serious in the music thing. So now I need to get, the taco burrito crowd. So I got to get with Mark Anthony, who she was allegedly messing with back in the days of On the Six too. Yeah, remember them stories? Because remember, they worked together. No me ames. Remember that? Allegedly, they was messing around back then. And he was married to his wife, while Jennifer was out here laying low and spreading wide, not just with Buffy. So when she goes and says in her thing that, oh, Diddy cheated on me and all this other stuff, yeah, that's in the article that I'm going to read y'all when I get to the next thing. Because Ohadi wasn't done. But I just had to lay all this stuff out. Then it was just like, she was with Mark for 10 years, which was the longest time she ever spent in a relationship. That goes to show how much patience we Virgos have. Because if he spent 10 years with her before they got the divorce, that goes to show that Virgos got the patience of Job. So then after that, it was like, what? Okay, so after him, then she got with Casper. Then them rumors came in about Casper liking them girls with a little something extra between me down there, if you know what I'm saying. I think you do. But Casper always gave me how you doing vibes anyway. I got that vibe for him. Like, he was giving me like, okay, that's a full-on butch queen. But that's who she got with. Maybe he put some pipe down on her, but then, he has little kinks and fetishes, and allegedly he was cheating on her, and she found out that he was sexting trans girls. Allegedly. I got to say that a couple of times. Then she got with A-Rod, who allegedly was cheating on her. Then she got back with Ben, who, yet again, after 2 years, because apparently he's got a 2-year warranty on whatever, I guess, whenever he gets with her, ran for the hills again. So, yeah, so he wasn't done with all that. So, yeah, he wound up saying that basically, so basically this was the thing. So they basically said that Lopez told Vibe magazine in May of 2003 that she knew in her gut that Combs was cheating on her, saying that he'd say he was going to the club for a couple of hours and then never came back that night. Maybe he was doing the freak offs, then too. And said that it was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful. I was in this relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin. And she also said that she gained the courage to end her romance with Combs after wondering, do I want to be at home with kids in 10 years, wondering where somebody is at 3 a.m. And so they basically said, yeah. So she went on, after dating the Diddler, she went on to marry Chris Judd from 2001 to 2003. Then she went and got with Mark Anthony from 2004 to 2014. And then she got with Ben Affleck. But y'all seem to forget the little in-between people. So yeah, she did marry Chris Judd and she was with Mark Anthony. But we can't also forget that, yeah, she was with, after the whole Mark thing, that's what she got with Casper. And then after Casper, then she got with A-Rod. And then after A-Rod, she went back to Ben. So when you talk about you love, it kind of makes me look at it as that, okay, so what is the whole purpose of this? Like, what are these people doing for you? And then when she got back with Ben, look, she got 2 movies coming out that he and Matt Damon produced. So, which is the Unstoppable movie and the Kiss of the Spider Woman remake. So clearly, when you in bed with your man and you in bed with him in business and pleasure, you trying to look at it as a, oh yeah, maybe because Ben Affleck has a lot of pull in Hollywood that he can help me with my career. And it always looks like when she gets with certain people, it's to benefit her career. Now on to the next thing that we need to get to. So this is the one where Ohani was basically saying, I'm probably going to lump this all together. Was that, oh no, not that one. Let's get to, so yeah, we got to keep it there. So, because I realized I only did one banner. So, because I'm going to lump it all together. So basically now he went and said this stuff on Instagram. Child, I cackled when I read this. Wait, let me close this window. So they basically said that Ohani took to social media because the first thing we talked about before was an interview that he did. Now he went on the internet. And he basically said that he's distancing himself from any connection to Combs' freak-off parties, but gladly claimed that the singer and actress was one of multiple celebrities present at those affairs. Saying in a post on Instagram, Noah shared a list of stars who allegedly attended Diddy's parties, one being Lopez, whom Combs dated during the late 90s and early 2000s. Now, you know I got a receipt, chair. So let's pull that up. There go the list. This is what he put on his Instagram. You know I come with a receipt. So he said, I'm not on the list, and put it in caps like he Kanye. And he said, to those people and media outlets asking if I ever went or participated in that piece of, well, I'll say POS. I'm trying not to curse as much. He said that if for those media outlets asking if I ever went or participated in that POS Diddy's freak-off parties, no and no, never. But my ex-wife Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, did. Ask her. And then they said that, well, child, they call him disgruntled. Well, he has every right to be. That bitch be like, she like a black widow, kind of like the Kardashian. She a damn succubus, leaving a carcass of men in her wake. So he went on to urge the public to question her regarding the alleged explicit recordings of other questionable items federal agents claim to have found during the investigation in the Combs. He said, I asked about the sex tapes, the 734 dildos, and the baby oil. Child. But look, we've been questioning her. I don't know why people are surprised, because back when all this Diddy stuff started coming out, a lot of people were suspecting if Jennifer might know some things, if she ever partook, if she participated, if she was there. I mean, look, if she was there when that whole Shine situation went down, and shout out to Shine, because I'm definitely looking forward to his new documentary that's coming to Hulu, I believe next month. I'm definitely going to check that out, because the trailer looked pretty good. Faith Evans was up in it. Then, child, I said, ooh, y'all shady. They put up her mugshot, Jennifer's. They put up her mugshot, and then they had Diddy up in there. So look, if she was there to allegedly smuggle a gun into the club, the one that Diddy used to pow, someone, including hitting a woman who's still out here going in on the diddler for what he did to her in the face. And Sean had his own gun that he brought in that he was powering people. And that whole situation happened and how they was running lights. Diddy and Hannaford in the car, and they both got locked up, well, arrested. And then, Guadalupe had to step in. I was like, oh, hell no, you better get rid of that ninja. This is why I don't like you messing with these ninjas. And her being a Puerto Rican, that word was being used a lot. I know how y'all work out in the Bronx. a lot of y'all like using that word. Or a lot of y'all, even though y'all are people of color, y'all here for the black community until your kids bring one home. Then it's a different story. Then they all kinds of N-words. So, they said that Noah has expressed his seemingly disdain for both Lopez and Combs in recent weeks amid the latter's federal indictment. Now, they also said that their relationship was forged during the making of Lopez's album On the 6th, later became romantic, with Diddy and Lopez dating between 1999 and 2001 before calling it quits. So look, over the years, Hannaford has basically, we already went down her list of how the track record when it comes to her men and how a lot of them overlap. So of course, a lot of it had to do certain people that she got with was for the career. So it kind of makes me wonder if she says that she loves love, which man did she actually love? And that she was there for. She says that Ben Affleck is the only one that broke her heart. It's funny how Diddy says that Hannaford Lopez was the one that got away. So I don't know. I don't necessarily believe him, but I'm like, maybe she got a taste of her own medicine, but you went back twice. So look, in the thing where you see he basically, it's in Spanish, but in English also he says, we already read about what he said in the list, but he got a lot of people names up in here. The party list, who is Dan Verkovsky? Child, they got 106 in Park up in there. They got Akon, Elite. Well, we already knew Mr. Keys was up in there. They said Ariana Grande, A-Rod, ASAP Rocky, Ashy Coochie, or Ashton Kutcher. But they said Biggie was at the parties too. Well, look, didn't Jadakiss come out and say that? I'm talking about the Diddy party. But if you see like the black arrow, that's what Hannaford Lopez's name is, and then right after that is Jessica Alba. Jill Scott was up in there, Justin Timberlake, of course the Kardashians, because they've talked openly about seeing butt-naked people at this situation. You had Little Kim, but which face did Little Kim have when she was up in there? Child, they said Little Nas X, but I don't even know if that's true because Little Nas X said in a joke that he would be perfect to go to a Diddy party. So he never got so according to Little Nas X, he never went. So who should we believe? Should we believe Ohani? Or should we believe Lil Nas X? But if Lil Nas X said he didn't go, then I'm going to take his word on it. So there you have it. Say what you want about Ohani, but if you want to know something, I'm living for the shade. I'm liking the fact that he out here throwing daggers at his ex. And I understand like you could be disgruntled because I'm like, this witch, if you feel like she ruined my career. Like I had the opportunity of trying to make it and all of a sudden you make it, but you don't want me to make it. And you was putting things in place to prevent people from working with me and all this other stuff. I'm like, well, look, if they won't take you over there in the American market, why not just work in the Latin market? Does she have that much pull that you can't work on like, Spanish language shows? I mean, she could barely speak the language as it is. So I don't think she could, she has that kind of pull or power. Maybe she does. I don't know. But do I think that Hannaford has partook and has been to a Diddy party and may know some things or may know where the bodies is buried, as I like to say? I would not be surprised. But because of where her career is and who she is and how far that, a lot of the things that she probably did do to get where she is today, she probably, she's not going to say a word. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever y'all thoughts are, I want to hear good, bad, or shady. Throw it in the comments down below. Attention to is Kylie's landmark 10 UK #1 album, joining Madonna and Taylor Swift as the only female artist in the UK to have 10 or more #1 albums. Well, good for her. Congratulations, Miss Mother Minogue. Okay, now in other Diddy news, we got to get into this whole situation. So there was a thing that came out about a personal trainer who claims that the diddler spiked his drink and then passed his drug body around like a party favor. I shouldn't laugh at that, but like, how you comparing yourself to a party favor? Oh, he passed me around like a plate, a collection plate at one of his little Diddy parties. But I'm like, damn, you know what? It's so sad if this story is true that the only way a lot of you self-hating freaks, homosexuals, bisexuals, whatever you want to call yourself, how some of y'all are so ashamed of that part of yourself that you feel like the only way that you can get what you want from people is by abusing them. And also people who cannot take rejection. I'm not just talking about Diddy, but just people in general. We've been hearing so many stories on social media about, oh, well, some girl got shot. Like there was one in New York. It was a girl, I think she had a twin sister. Guy was hitting on her. She told him she wasn't interested. He went and shot her. Or guys who hear from girls or whatever, like they like a girl. And I feel for women because women go through so much in this country and probably around the world, but we're just gonna sit on the we're just gonna focus on the United States. That the fact that a girl can't just walk around, live her life, mind her business, go to the store, do whatever without some dude trying to press up on her. And if she's not interested, you should take that as okay, she's not interested. Move on. There's millions of other women in the world that you can get with. But some of these men out here, these incels, cannot take rejection. Or just feel like because I am who I am and I'm arrogant and I got money or whatever the case is, I could do whatever the hell I want to people with no consequence. Which is why I say when all these morons like Bus a Bus ass and stupid ass DJ Envy and all these other ones want to come out, well, innocent until proven guilty. I'm like, yeah, okay, because y'all was at them damn Diddy parties probably doing y'all dirt too. So let me give me some of the alleged stories I heard about Busta Rhymes going to same-sex parties. He liked them DL boys and had to shut one boy there. I remember there was a story, something other about what he beat up some boy, whatever, or had him beat up or whatever, because he was going to spill tea about them hunching. And I'm not surprised. I wouldn't put nothing past it, allegedly, because he was just at the airport not too long ago threatening to beat some man behind. I'm like, sir, you in your damn 50s out here trying to fight somebody? Like, grow up. But anyway, this is not about Busta. This is about Diddy apparently SAing personal trainers. I'm like, well, goddamn, is there anybody you ain't put your neck drug or hunch? Everything got to be drugs with him. So they said the incident reportedly occurred at an after party following Sean Diddler, the Diddler Combs' Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards. Now, a new suit filed against Diddy has accused the rapper of drugging and repeatedly SAing a personal trainer who he invited to his LA mansion on June 27, 2022. Now, according to the Daily Mail, in the filing, the alleged victim claimed that upon arriving at the location, he was given a drink and led to a large room illuminated with red lights. However, he only spent a short while there before he was led to a smaller room where he observed approximately a dozen individuals, including several well-known figures who were engaging in group sex activities. Well, I'm going to need you to get like my girl Sutton Strack and start naming them. Because if you talking about there was other celebrities there, I need you to spill tea. So the legal document stated that once the diddler realized that the accused's significant impairment, he approached and took off his pants and then proceeded to perform non-consensual mouth massage onto him. And this is this is like what I said, like it's sad that the only way that some of y'all can just get power or get laid over someone is you gotta drug them. I would never find satisfaction in a guy in having sex with someone if, like, I can't get moist. I just want to say that word. I can't get off on someone sexually or whatever the case is because if they're not interested, like if somebody's not, if there's no engagement, if there's no kind of reciprocation on both sides, that's not a turn on for me. Which is why I just don't understand. And I understand that sex is not. I mean, rape is not about sex. It's about power. It's about that control. It's like being able to do whatever you want to someone without consequence. I don't find anything appealing about that. I cannot get hard off of that. And quiet as it's kept, I don't think Diddy could either, because he had all them damn supplements he was putting in his system. I'm surprised his peen could stand up on end. And he probably had to take supplements to get an erection. So the legal document stated that once Diddy realized, okay, we talked about that. So they said that he also reportedly forced the alleged victim to perform a mouth massage on another celebrity in the room who spat in his mouth while the act was going on. Hold on now. Now, you know that's what the gays be doing. So let me find out. Well, we already know. I said, look, the word about Diddy being a homosexual, a closeted one over the years. I really don't think Diddy is bisexual. I really believe like he is one of those I hate, like he's low key gay, hates the fact that that part of him is what it is because of his upbringing being black and that whole situation. You know how it is in the hood with the machismo situation. So you have to suppress that part of yourself because the way he treats women and the way he degrades women and abuses women and stuff. But you out here doing all kinds of crazy stuff with these men, and with the gays, they do that whole spitting in the mouth thing. That is not something I'm into, but I've seen many a men who get into the whole spitting in each other's mouth and stuff. But child, I'm nosy. I want to know who this other celebrity was that was spitting in the mouth and having to blow another blow this guy. So the accuser was also forced into sexual acts with both men and women and couldn't resist as his physical disposition made it impossible for him. These individuals, including Combs, essentially passed plaintiff's drug body around like a party favor for their sexual enjoyment. It also mentioned, due to the haze of the drug that he'd been clandestinely served, the plaintiff could not resist Combs's coercion and ordering. He felt trapped inside his own body, unable to control it or understand what was happening around him. At some point, Diddy's accuser reportedly passed out, only to wake up outside of his apartment, disoriented, without a shirt and without his phone. He remains unable to recall how he arrived at his home, although he was earlier picked up for the party by a private car sent by the rapper. Now, Diddy's accuser claimed to have suffered severe emotional and psychological trauma as a result of being assaulted at the party. He also alleged that he has faced financial harm and significant loss of livelihood ever since the incident. Now, according to the filing, he hopes that he will be compensated with an amount to be determined at trial for all physical injuries, emotional distress, psychological harm, anxiety, humiliation, physical and emotional pain and suffering, family and social disruption, and other harm he suffered as a result of Diddy's actions. Why did that list that I just read sound like, whenever you get those medications and they go, the side effects include, like a laundry list? That's what I felt like when I was reading that. So Diddy has since denied the accusations via his lawyer, saying that he never SA'd anyone. He also slammed the suit. Do I believe that that he's SA'd people? I do believe it, but I just do feel like that. Well, goddamn, look, it's up to the lawyers or whatever to figure out if people are being truthful or people just trying to jump on a bandwagon for some coin. Because have we heard about the woman who allegedly said to her boyfriend and sent it in a text that, oh, well, I need you to lie on my behalf that I was assaulted by Diddy so that way we can get some money and I'm going to pay you $3 million, when it says, what is the number that you said that you're going to sue Diddy for? And then how much you expect to get back should this thing go to court? And you don't even know how long this thing is going to take before you even see a financial payout. So anybody can pretty much say anything. And I know that assault is hard to prove in court. And I do feel like because of Cassie coming out with what she did, there are some people that probably are looking at this as, oh, this is the easy payday. I can get money. The difference is with how Cassie got her coin was because there was actual evidence of him putting paws on her, of the video. So I believe that helped her in a way of being able to get what she was able to get out of this situation because she had something on him and he had no choice but to pay it. But it was probably because he'd been doing so much to so many people for so long, he probably forgot about the damn video. But once the FBI went and did their little, swoop down, she was able to, that was her leverage for her to get what she wanted. But as far as everybody else, look, I guess that's up to the lawyers to dot all their I's and cross all their T's and figure out who's being truthful, who's BSing, and if they got a case with those situations. But I did hear that the diddler is trying to have this thing where before he goes to trial, that all these other cases that are coming out, and we already know there's going to be far more cases regarding the abuse, the alleged abuse that he has concocted on so many other people. There's going to be more stories and more filings that is going to come out, because it seems like every other day I'm doing a damn story about a new damn accuser coming out and saying that this happened to them or that happened to them. So I do feel like in that time that we're going to get more. He's saying that when he goes to court, he doesn't want all these other cases to be attached to what he's currently on trial for. So he wants something in place where it's like, okay, you're not going to bring all this other stuff into this case. I also think it's probably going to be really hard when y'all go to trial to try to find a jury of 12 that's going to be able to be quiet about this whole Diddy situation. And not only quiet, but just not be biased in their thing. Like literally sit in there, be on trial, listen to the case, be neutral in the things that they're talking about, and come to a conclusion of guilty or not guilty. So I know it's probably gonna be real hard for them to try to find a jury of people. Or maybe they won't, and maybe it won't. Maybe I could just find a bunch of white people that don't really pay attention to hip hop that can take on this case. So yeah, that's the latest on that. And also, I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe this personal trainer who said that he was passed around like a party favor? I don't know. So they basically was like, yeah, the weirdly inappropriate sexual advance from Diddy was said to have shocked and disoriented the anonymous man, and he froze momentarily. And I do feel like, you know what? You don't know how people are gonna act when they get to when they get in a situation. A lot of people say, oh, if I was ever assaulted, this is what I would do. No one ever knows what they would do in those situations. There have been situations where it's like, yeah, your body freezes, you shut down. Then it's like, oh, well, they were aroused, so they probably wanted it. Your body, when anything is being done to, regardless if it's wanted or unwarranted, your body is going to react in certain ways where it's like, yeah, you could get an erection. You could, do all these other things. Your body's going to react the way it reacts. And you shouldn't be ashamed of that. If somebody's doing something to you that's an unwanted advantage or a situation or unwanted advances, then you have a right to say no. But look, there was a whole bunch, we are a bunch of allegations and stuff coming out. They said there was a 13-year-old girl that he R-worded at the 2000 MTV VMAs after party. There was also an unnamed male and female celebrity who joined the bad boy mogul in the act. So if there's people out here that's out getting assaulted and there's other celebrities who are in on it, this is why I said at this point, it's time to name names. Stop trying to protect these celebrities, because it just seems like it's an ongoing cesspool of abusers. And I also feel like in this situation where, they talk about the music industry is broke, all these other people running around with no money. It seems like a lot of these moguls or whatever are making their money trafficking drugs, people, that sort of thing. And it seems like Diddy was caught up in that. And I've heard DJ Khaled name being mentioned. Remember the guy that the guy that's in jail that came out and said that Rick Ross, the Diddler, and DJ Khaled are homosexuals? I saw that video. And how he was a male, hooker, and was coming out with these allegations. I believe every word of it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Now, speaking of people that get down with the good down, let's talk about Jamie Foxx, because I think he another one who's he likes the women, but I also think he gets down with men too. I would not be surprised. Jamie Foxx give me Butch Queen tease, but that's just me. So apparently he filmed the Netflix special called What Had Happened Was, and word on the street is that he discussed allegations that the Diddler caused his hospitalization, because we did talk about it on this show. I don't know. I had some type of epiphany the other day, and I was sitting there thinking, like, because there was something, I think I was reading an article where it said that there were people that were going to, I think it was the Ashton Kutcher story that I had read. I think it was on Radar Online or whatever. And there was an article that was said that Diddy got mad at Demi Moore because at the time when Demi Moore was dating Ashton Kutcher, that, Ashton, and everybody know the tea about Ashton Kutcher was really good friends with Diddy and how they was always hanging out and partying. And then there was a recent thing that came out years ago. I'm not trying to remember. Was it an episode of Hot Ones or one of those shows that he was on where he was asked about hanging out with Diddy at his parties or whatever. And he was like, oh, there's certain things I can't really say or whatever the case was. So people are looking at, whenever a big allegation comes out, all of a sudden the sleuths get on social media and they start digging up old videos and things start to resurface. So people started calling out Ashton Kutcher saying that, oh, he had, 1 minute, they dragged him and Mila Kunis over the whole Danny Masterson thing because they were out here windmilling hard for him when he was out here allegedly, well, not alleged, he'd been convicted of R-wording a bunch of women. And Scientology and all them was trying to protect him. And then Ashton Kutcher went and wrote a letter to the judge to try to get him spared. And then the story came out about Ashton Kutcher hanging out with Diddy. So in the mention with the whole thing with them trying to have their own little rat pack type situation, I think Ashton Kutcher's name was mentioned. Leonardo DiCaprio, who allegedly is dating Tiana Taylor. I do not believe that episode. I said, Run for the Hills says you don't want no STIs if you're getting with him. Another thing too, isn't Tiana a little too old for Leonardo DiCaprio? Leo go, his cap is at 25. So the minute your 25th birthday comes, you get sent, to the graveyard with the other models that he hooks up with. But allegedly he with Tiana Taylor. I don't believe it. Just like I don't believe Hugh Jackman is with Sutton Foster. Sutton looked like she need a boost in her career, so I guess she's gonna be his beard, allegedly. But anyway, this is not about Hugh. We're not gonna give him the stray. Shout out to him though. But let's get back to this thing. So the thing it was mentioned that Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Jamie Foxx name was mentioned in the whole situation, them being like in the party group or whatever, like the Brat Pack, their version of the Brat Pack. So that had me thinking. I was like, so do y'all think that Jamie Foxx, that whole situation that happened to him last year where he was hospitalized, and some people believe he was under the consummation of drugs. I was like, so do you think Diddy may have something to do with that? Well, now here we come with this story because it's kind of been interlinked. And he recently did a special for Netflix that who knows when it's going to air. But they saying that he addressed it. So they said earlier this month, Choke No Joke, who is a videographer, producer, and director, told Comedy Hype he attended 2 of Fox's 3 shows, which took place on October 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Alliance Theater in Atlanta. Now, on October 7th, Comedy Hype uploaded a YouTube video in which Choke said Jamie has a special coming out on Netflix called What Had Happened Was, and I went to the taping of it. It was 3 days taping. I went to the first show. I went to the last show. Now, Choke claimed that Foxx started doing the tapings that stated that during the tapings that Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, and Foxx is the one who called the FBI on Combs. However, it is unclear whether the alleged comments will be included in the final cut of the special. Now, as whether the alleged comments were presented as a joke, Choke replied, I don't think he was joking. And my thing would be also was like, why would you even bring that up as a joke? Like, if you're going to say there's Choke No Joke there, and then you have Jamie Foxx. So clearly, he wasn't lying when he said that he was there. Because that is the outfit that he wore on stage while he was doing his jokes. Now, the question remains, if the joke's funny, that's to be determined. Because, usually when I turn on a Netflix special and I be expecting funny, I just be disappointed. Chris Rock is one. Also, Samora, when she came out with her special, I did not laugh not one good time. Don't even get me started on Monique. So, I've always kind of, and Dave Chappelle, like, to me, it's just like, I always expect like, okay, now, Netflix giving these opportunities and got these comedy specials, then I watch it. I'm like, okay, at any moment, somebody make me laugh. So I'm usually disappointed when it comes to that. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to watch the special, but I'm also going to take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not expecting to be just like pee on myself with laughter. So they also said that Page Six cannot independent, because shout out to them, this is where the story was from. Also, they said y'all can determine was he joking or not when you see the show. Because to me, I'm a new comedian, right? I know when somebody's setting up a punchline, and I know when you're serious. This is what Choke continued, saying that he didn't want to give away Fox's jokes. So I guess when we go and watch the special, we can tell based off of the tone and the delivery and that sort of thing whether or not he is joking or was it he was dead ass in the whole situation. So they also said that Page says cannot independently confirm whether the alleged comments were made or received by others in jest. Now, after Foxx said Diddy did something to me, he said, I'm the one who called the feds on him. Choke reiterated, hypothesizing that Foxx might have done so because he was scared. He disappeared, right? He's out now. Soon as Puff went to jail, right? We see him at the game with Dallas Cowboy owner Jeffrey Jones, right? We haven't seen him. As soon as Puff went to jail, Foxx was at the goddamn Dallas football game, right? And now he just went and shot his special. And who's the special strongly based around? Diddy. This is what Choke is claiming. Now, according to Choke, they said the stars appeared to be bros until something allegedly caused their relationship to sour. Probably the drugs and the assault and all that other stuff. When you start to break people's trust, it's like you can partake and you can participate and do all the other stuff until you try to do it to them and it's unwarranted because they don't like you that way. Then you know you start to see the shift. They also said that phones were confiscated ahead of the shows, but as soon as he got his back, he took a selfie with Foxx. And you know what? That's the one thing I also love about comedy specials. When I work live events, I also, I don't just do concerts and sports stuff. I also do comedy specials. And one of the things I love about comedy specials, and I really wish that y'all would do more of this, confiscate the phones. Have it like, where they put them in a pouch, they lock it up. And then if you have an emergency, we do have sections at the Garden where you could unlock the bag and then you go into your phone and those other stuff. This is why I always tell people, and also this is another tip. If you do not have access to your phone, you either, because you have to come up in the VOMs and you have to, the ushers, whoever need to know where you're sitting or where you actually have to go. Either make copies of physical copies, like out of a printer of your ticket to make it easier, or when you go up to the thing, for the people to lock up your phones or whatever, pull the thing out, have them write down where you're seated to help people out. Because there have been times where people will come up in the VOMs, which is basically the sections of where you sit. I'm doing MSG talk. And a lot of times people are like, I don't know where I'm sitting. And it's like, so y'all didn't think to get all this information and write it down before y'all come up in there? Like, we not sidekick. I cannot touch your phone, and all of a sudden the vision comes into my head, and I'm gonna know where know where you're supposed to go. So you have to make it easier on the people that are working in those sections, or the people or the directors that are guiding you to what floor you need to go to. So just that sort of thing. But I do like when they lock up the phones, rather than those times where it is a comedy special, like when Andrew Scholes had his, and you literally had to tell every person that came up in a section, please don't record. Please don't have your phones out. No video, no recording. We had to do it during the Sebastian Maniscalco show as well. And this is like, can y'all just lock the phones out? It makes it so much easier on the people that work in the sections. But whatever. So I do like that they had it locked up. But people are going to come out and they're going to spill their tea, and that happened anyway. So then there was also celebrity security guard Big Homie CC alleged in an on-camera interview with Cam Capone News last week and said, I know Combs poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. Jamie Foxx reported this man to the FBI because of this. Now, when reached out for comment by Page 6, Big Homie claimed that his knowledge was based on hearing Foxx tell his story at 2 of his comedy show tapings, which Big Homie said he attended with a client. So this is 2 people so far that have come out and said that Jamie Foxx is spilling tea about what had happened to him at the situation. Now, whether or not it makes the show is to be determined. I don't think that Netflix is gonna keep this secret. I feel like this would be a good hook if they smart over there for them to use that if he is bringing it up and says that Diddy did do some stuff to him, and this is him using the comedy as a catharsis, as a a moment of catharsis, and really being like, yeah, he did some stuff to me, or whatever the case is, and bring this up in a joke. I can't see him doing that, but if they saying that this is what's going on, then I say, yeah, this is a good hook to get people to watch the show. The special will blow up, especially for Netflix. Now, Media Takeout, child, I don't even know why we echoing their sentiments, because Fred over there with his lies and vitriol, you got to take everything with Media Takeout as a grain of salt, but let's entertain it. So they said that in a report earlier this week, they said they claimed that Foxx alleged during his set that Combs had poisoned him and was responsible for his hospitalization. Now, according to the outlet, the crowd initially started laughing, prompting Foxx to allegedly look directly at the audience member and give them a serious stare. However, a third attendee, Dennis L.A. White, told Page Six that he went to the second and third tapings of the show. He claimed he heard Foxx say something more along the lines of, "People keep asking me if Diddy was responsible. He was not responsible. If he was, I would have been dead." White added that he does not recall Foxx mentioning the federal government or law enforcement. However, he claimed Foxx spent a good amount of the set talking about Combs, even making several jokes about baby oil. Now, after his series of performances, Foxx took to Instagram with a heartfelt message that read in part, "God is good. I have an opportunity to tell my side of the story, and there was no better place than Atlanta, Georgia," where he was actually hospitalized. He also went on and said, "When people ask me is this a stand-up comedy show? I say no, it's an artistic explanation or something that went terribly wrong. But thanks to the great people in Atlanta, especially Payne Hospital, you enabled me to come back and be on stage and do what I love to do the most." So they're saying that is this a stand-up comedy special? He says no, it's an artistic explanation. So that's probably a way of, okay, if it's not funny, then he could just call it that. It's like, oh no, because y'all ain't laughing like one good time. Y'all just being nice and y'all just want to laugh. But I'm starting to think like it does fall upon the lines of that. I'm starting. You know what? I'm gonna believe the third person that wound up saying, Dennis White. I'm gonna believe him more so than anybody else, because I feel like that a lot of people will jump in and say, "Oh yeah, I heard this and this is what he says," just to hype up the situation and get in an interview and get being talked about. I actually am going to believe that, he was making jokes at the benefit of Diddy and saying that, "Oh yeah, I'd be dead," or whatever. That sounds more up the alley of like, I'm going to talk about Diddy, but I'm going to make the little baby oil jokes and I'm going to do all the other stuff because it's going to, it's good grist for the mill and it's a good way to entertain. So I'm going to go more or less in that direction of believability versus what the other two had to say and media damn fake out. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you think that there is some truth in the fact that Diddy did do something to Jamie Foxx when Jamie Foxx is not really going to come out and say anything out of fear of, even though Diddy is locked up, they say his reach is long and wide and hard. And I do believe that is not just, somebody had to been helping Diddy do all this other stuff. So maybe we need to be looking into other people. We need to be looking into this government because I don't think he's that it was just him. And it's a situation. I do feel like there's more, involved in this whole little circus. So let me know what you guys think on whether or not you believe that Diddy may or may not have had anything to do with what happened to Jamie Foxx down in the comments below. Okay, you said Madonna did that, but people complain. Wait, what are we talking about? Because I was so caught up in the Diddy situation, I lost in regards of like what that conversation was. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on and let's talk about the Kim Kardashian. And wait, I was like, let me close that. Because, with this whole thing with Kanye coming out and then Lauren Prashada making the allegations and stuff about Kanye, I always wondered, I'm like, why is Kim so silent about this situation? Why haven't we heard from Kim? And, in regards, because she has 4 children with him. So with all this stuff that's going on, it's like she's always been, she's relatively silent. And I know she keeps talking about, well, I don't want to make my kid's father look bad in the public. But I'm like, sis, he's doing that all by himself. And I know you try to do but so much as a mom, but you can't shield them from what's happening in the media. And this is a big story. These allegations of, sexual abuse. And the fact that he's being associated with Diddy, these Diddy parties and things of that nature. Well, according to Radar Online, they said that the Skims founder is pissed with her ex-husband, Kanye, at the allegations of his sexual kinks surfaced in a lawsuit filed by a former Yeezy employee. Now, according to Radar Online, they said that tensions between the ex-couple, who share 4 children, have intensified since West's former assistant, Lauren Prashada, filed a lawsuit on October 11th, accusing the rapper of SA during a studio session co-hosted, by the Diddler. Prashada, who worked for West from 2021 to 2022, claimed that she was a victim of S battery at the Grammy winner's hand after drinking something he gave to her that had allegedly been laced. Plus, in a move which has made Kardashian and her entire family absolutely livid, Pashada made several shocking claims, including West had a kink for sleeping with his partner's moms, including the mother of his current wife, Bianca Censori. Well, child, we know he wasn't getting with Pimp Mama Chris. She wasn't putting up with that. You know, she'd rather pimp out her daughters than sleep with her daughters' men. Now, you know, a daughter said that Kim has tried her best to maintain a healthy co-parenting relationship with Kanye, but it's taking everything in her not to speak out right now. The complaint came as an amendment to a previous lawsuit where Pashada alleged that she was a victim of wrongful termination. Now, West's lawyers denied the accusations and in response claimed Pashada had pursued him sexually to coerce employment and other material benefits. And he went along with it, correct? Because if that was going on, then why did he go along with it? Now, according to Us Weekly, when Pashada's advances were rejected, West, known as, I ain't calling him all that stupidness, some damn yay. He's Kanye. Because he is a damn coon. So it said allegedly then she tried to blackmail him. Now the statement from West's lawyers read, prior to her termination as an assistant, Miss Posada stole his cell phone in an attempt to destroy phone records that would contradict her claims, all of which have been preserved. Now, Radar Online also revealed last month that Kardashian, who's 44, has become increasingly worried about her 4 children spending time with their erratic father, 47. They're now being told how she dispatched trusted nannies and her own security to supervise her kids when they go away with West and Censori. Now, the insider said Kim never lets the kids go away with Kanye without trusted nannies and her own security. The source continued, there is very tight schedule, what time they go to bed, what to eat, when they eat, how much sugar they have. Child, what are they, in prison? And so they said exactly where they go and how crowded those places are. Kardashian and West, married in 2014 and a divorce 8 years later in 2022. So they have like 4 kids, as y'all know, North, St. Chicago, and so on. Now, I don't understand why at this point she didn't file for full custody. Now, if Kim is going through the thing that she's going through with this man, this madman, I don't understand why she just didn't do full custody and provide him with visitation. And I know a lot of people feel like, well, yeah, here y'all go trying to take away a black man from his kids, whatever. Can we not make everything about race? The fact of the matter is, if the man you laid down in the bed with is being a bum and being a nuisance and being a danger to himself and your children, then if you are the one who is clearly the bigger breadwinner, and let's be clear, Kim has way more money than Kanye, then I would put guardrails in place that are shielding and protecting my kid. I understand that everybody needs a mother and a father, but if the father needs to be taking his damn medication and been a hot ass mess since Donda passed, because we seen that shit happen when his mother died, then I don't give a damn. I'm doing what I got to do to protect my kids. And I would love to have, in a perfect world, to have the kids in the father's life. The same thing with Cardi B. Cardi B out here cussing out her damn, Offset. Somebody she wish he was dead and all this other mess. But I'm like, sis, you the one that decided to lay low and spread it wide for that man 3 goddamn times. Most recently pushing out a baby last month. So go argue with your mammy. Be mad at yourself. Same thing with Kim. You decided to lay down and have 4 kids with this man. And now you're stuck with a madman for the rest of your life. Even though y'all divorced, because y'all have children, you're forever attached to him. So on one hand, I understand, like, you feel for the women because of the men, how they turn out. But sis, you want to lay down with dogs, you end up with fleas. So I don't feel too bad for her. For either one, quiet as his cat. So I'll say all this to say, look, I get that Kim is, livid over the, whatever situations. And I'm sure that she's out of here publicly embarrassed because Kanye yet again is in the news and it's something else that she has to try to shield her kids away from. But that's going to be difficult to shield your kids away from the, the negativity that's going on, because Kanye out here doing what he doing and got Bianca Censori, they're not even 30 yet, parading through the streets like his very own Barbie doll or Megan doll, whichever one you want, or Tiffany, whichever one you want to look at, titties down to her damn knees. I don't know how you then not even 30 and you got your breasts hanging down like you Aretha Franklin. Like you need support on them breasts. So I say, well, let's say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, so we are at the halfway point of the show. So before we get to the rest of the topics, I think it's like how many more? Like about 6-7 more topics. Before we get to the rest of the show, if you can, please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button, and be sure to smash the notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Evelyn Unfiltered. It also helps with the algorithm and pushing the stuff out there for me on YouTube and all the other platforms that I'm going to probably edit this show down to later on. So please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let's get into this story. Then we got to we're gonna talk about Liam Payne. Shout out to him. We had heard that according to his ex saying that they were engaged and they were gonna get married in 2025. And that was some heartbreaking news to hear. And I know like we have people out here who are dragging her in this situation. And I feel like, you know what, One Direction fans, Liam Payne fans, y'all need to stand down with all this stuff. You can't blame this person or that person for a grown man's demise. Liam Payne had his own issues, his own demons that he had to deal with. And I do feel like in so many ways, especially, this is why I always say this is not an industry for young people. I remember at one point, I was on the audition circuit when I was a kid and doing things like getting into acting and music and all this other stuff. And then I realized, you know what? I don't want to do this right now. I want to live the life of, I want to be a kid. I want to go and hang out with my friends. I want to go play. I want to go do all these other things. I didn't have it in me enough to want to be that hungry to go and pound the pavement as an artist. I'm doing it now, but back in the day, I feel like mentally I wasn't ready to deal with all of that. And I wanted to live my life. And my parents had other things going on and stuff too. So I didn't want to burden them with my childhood dreams and things. So I worked on a lot of my artistic endeavors until I got older. And I feel like this industry, especially when you're mentally now like me, I could go and do all the things that a Liam Payne and stuff could do. And if that ends, mentally I'm okay. I could jump into something else. But a lot of the kids now, they don't know who they are outside of that world of entertainment, of performing and other stuff. So it's like, when you get dropped from your record deal because the music ain't doing what it does, these kids are falling into a downward spiral. They're depressed. They get caught up in drugs, or like when he was saying that he was locked in a hotel room when they was in One Direction. It was like when y'all shielding them away from the pandemonium, so you locking them in a hotel, and what's there? A mini bar. So they're getting caught up in alcohol. Then you have people that are when you're a superstar, you have access to things. You have access to drugs. People will slide you things for free. You don't know what's in the drugs these days. Especially, they putting fentanyl in every damn thing. So I wouldn't even trust the drugs today. I keep reiterating, thank God, like in the 2000s, I was doing all the dirt that I did. And they didn't have all this crap in it. Now y'all putting roach spray and, Raid, all kinds of craziness in drugs. And then y'all wonder why your nose and every damn thing falling or you're ODing because they putting fentanyl and things. So I don't even mess with any of the drugs now. I was even telling this story yesterday. I was in Chelsea, coming from the gym. This guy walking around, you clearly see he was high. He had it like walking around like it's nothing with his meth pipe in his hand. Shout out to him, because first of all, that was the cleanest meth pipe I've ever seen. Number one. And number two, I'm sitting there like, how y'all just be openly out in the open? They be doing their drugs out in the open. They be walking around with their drugs out in the open. Don't even, not a care in the world. So the people's out here getting bold with their stuff. And not even only that, but I've been noticing people with their weed too. Like, when I'm on the train or whatever, like, y'all can't wait till y'all get home to do y'all stuff. Like, people don't even care. I understand that it's legal, that weed is legal, but not everybody wants to be subjected to what it is that you do. Do your stuff on your own time. Have respect for the people in your surroundings, but people just don't care. And I'm not even just talking about the drug addicts. I'm just talking about regular people that feel, oh yeah, I just want to get on the train and smoke my shit. Nobody want to smell that, because who knows what you put in it. And then we get the contact. So anyway, so now someone who is aware of, like, with his own drug past and things of that nature, Lamar Odom, is actually speaking out on his experiences and pretty much has an understanding of what Liam was going through at the time and said that he himself has done the pink booger sugar, which is Tucci. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to just call it Tucci because it sounds, it sounds a little more fancy than Tussie, or that it sounds like the opposite that rhymes with Bussy, but I'd rather just call it Tucci. Stanley Tucci. Maybe we should start calling it that. It's the Stanley Tucci. But I don't want to do that because I actually like Stanley Tucci. He's a good actor. And I like the fact that he's out here selling, cookware and all kinds of other stuff. So I like Stanley Tucci. But we're not going to call it Stanley Tucci. We'll just stick to the Tucci. But anyway, so Lamar Odom basically is talking about that how he was hallucinating when he was taking drugs, speculating that the substances could have contributed to the One Direction members' fatal fall. Saying a partial autopsy, according to Us Weekly, showed that Payne had pink booger sugar, a recreational drug typically mixing methamphetamine, ketamine, and MDMA, not to be confused with MDNA, hey Madonna, along with booger sugar, benzodiazepine, and crack in his system, according to a report published by ABC News on Monday, October 21st. And that's the thing, they've got like 7 different drugs mixed into this thing, which, like I told you, the description of pink booger sugar is it feels like, because I think it's a mixture of uppers and downers that's up in there, it's ripping your body in 2 different directions. So it's all kinds of stuff. And plus, I would not be surprised if maybe he was hearing voices. Voices going off in your head. Tell me, what do they say? That's a Madonna and Justin Timberlake song. But anyway, let's get into this thing. So it said, when approached by TMZ for comment on Payne's toxicology report, Odom, who's 44, recalled his past experiences with substance abuse and said that he thought he had used pink booger sugar before saying, I've done a lot of things. I'm not ashamed, though, because of it's my testimony. The retired NBA player was hospitalized in 2015 after ODing at a Nevada brothel and has been sober for several years. Now he owns several recovery clinics. Saying that drugs could cause you to hallucinate, this is what he said, and if Payne was in a hallucination state, then who knows what would happen. The athlete said that he heard voices before and experienced paranoia while using drugs, but especially crack. During a TMZ interview, Odom was asked if he thought that drugs in Payne's system could have contributed to his fall. He said, to death, I don't know. I was always strong enough to kind of bear down and realize there's no exception to not being here. He noted, if you're hearing voices, then it's hard to escape those voices. So God forbid if those voices told him to do something that led to his fate, that'd be a shame. He also told the outlet, I'm going to make sure I say a prayer for his family and everyone that he knows. He also said that he hopes the tragedy is a wake-up call for everyone in the industry, Hollywood, music, sports, and that drugs don't discriminate, age, race, color, or creed. Now, and I actually agree with that. I feel like there needs to be guardrails and things put in place. We need to start with the thoughts and prayers. We need to start with, okay, now another tragedy is taken and we talk about it for a couple of days and then we move on to the next thing and nothing happens. It's the same thing I say about the mass shootings. It's like, okay, we do the thoughts and prayer thing. We talk about it. We get mad and we're like, oh, there needs to be more things on gun control and stuff in the country, but then nothing happens. So I feel the same way with this. We need stronger situations when it comes to drugs. I get that, people are grown and they can do whatever the hell they want, whatever the case is. But there needs to be things put in place where we can help people get to a situation. And also, I feel like even in Hollywood, there needs to be something put in place where a lot of young people figure out how to navigate through this world. Like when that situation comes to an end, let's not chew them up and spit them out and let's be like, you're on your own, figure it out. And then they get caught up in a lifetime of drugs or whatever. And that's why I feel like that was with Liam. Liam was someone who was just going through it because he felt, at a point, he was so reliant on One Direction. He became famous, the most famous pop star on the planet, being a part of this boy band at 17. How do you navigate through that? Especially when your frontal lobe doesn't fully develop for men until you're 25. So how are you dealing with all of this, that adrenaline feeling, that fame thing, and then also the equation of ADHD being equipped with being an artist? which I totally get because I believe I am someone who is very much hyperactive. I'm someone who has ADHD. Remember when I was a kid, they tried to put me on drugs. My mother refused. So I get, because I do not want to be walking around here being a zombie, zombie, zombie. I was not trying to be a zombie chair. So I never went on the prescription medications. But I do realize it was like when you're an artist, when you're someone who's creative, these are the things that come with that, when you have a lot of this energy to burn. And I feel like there needs to be something in place where it's just like you have to figure out how to do that come down, especially when you're on stage performing. That adrenaline is still running through your body. This is why I think a lot of celebrities have a hard time calming down, going to sleep. Madonna talks about how she has insomnia, like she don't go to bed until like 4 a.m. because it's just like the brain is running on a different frequency. Same thing with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson got caught up in his addictions and stuff too because of that. It's just like when you subject your body so much, you have a lot of that energy. You have to figure out, like, where do I channel that? Especially when you're burning a lot of that energy on stage for 2 hours. It takes a whole lot of adrenaline, a lot of energy to be able to accommodate through that. And I think unless you have an artist's mind, you don't get it. This is why I understand in so many ways what Liam was dealing with in this industry. Yeah, I've never experienced the things he experienced, but I totally understand and I empathize and I get it. But these people that work behind the scenes in the industry, they don't care because they're dealing with, one celebrity. If one dies off, we got another one we could prop up and do the same damn thing to. It's literally like one of those, what do you call those? Like a factory line. If one dies off, we got another one we could do it too. So, and this is why I like the fact that we have people like to say what you want about it, but Chappell Roan and so many others who are coming out talking about mental health and those other things. Yeah, the way that maybe she's expressing it is probably a turn off, but for the most part, I do feel like this is a conversation that I'm glad is happening, that we need to continue to have. And so that way we can protect, a lot of the younger people coming up in the business, that we don't end up with any more Liam Payne types who are trying to figure it all out in this crazy world of the entertainment business. So I say all this to say, shout out to Lamar Odom. And I like the fact that there was somebody who had a past drug addiction, who felt the need and was brave enough to speak up about the situation and give his side of the story and be like, I totally get where he's coming from. And then who knows? I mean, I've never done the Tucci, so I don't know what it does. I mean, I can know based off of what people say. And it's like, there's a rise, it's definitely a rise on the pink booger sugar, especially in New York. In the nightlife scene, I've been hearing so many stories about how that's it's definitely on the rise in New York. So I was about to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about this queen. Hey, Miss Todd Chrisley, girl. Well, it looked like she unemployed because, he was incarcerated after he and his wife, Julie Christie, were indicted on 12 counts of tax evasion, fraud, and conspiracy, and is currently unemployed behind bars. So he had a job in the chapel. And now he's unemployed because he was being a chatty Cathy. Them queens will talk your damn ear off. They good at that, them Southern belles. The former reality star, who is currently serving 12 years for bank fraud and tax evasion, was let go from his prison chapel position, according to his attorney, Jay Surgent. Now, Surgent told Page 6 that his client, who is serving his time at the federal prison camp Pensacola in Florida, was never given an actual reason for his dismissal as an administrative assistant to the chaplain at Pensacola. He continued, he said he was told that he was talking with the residential drug abuse program participants, and that was not allowed. He served in this voluntary capacity for almost 2 years, and it has been confirmed that the chaplain has always been satisfied with his services. The lawyer further told people that Chrisley Knows Best alum, who's 55, can no longer access the office in the church where he used to conduct his volunteer work, and that he is very disappointed and upset that he can no longer participate in the administration of the setup for religious services at Pensacola, which includes Christian, Jewish, and Muslim services. So I'm confused. So what the hell did he do then? Because they're basically saying that people had no problem with him. Even the chaplain, they said he was satisfied with his services. So they never gave a distinct reason as to why he was fired. But I'm like, what? I'm not supposed to have a conversation with people? And behind bars, I don't think that Todd Chrisley was spilling tea about his situation behind bars, unless he was in confession. These are my confessions. A rep for the Federal Bureau. I was going to say FBI, but it was the FBP. For those who don't know what the FBP is, Federal Bureau of Prisons. So they declined to comment further about the situation, telling TMZ, for privacy reasons, we do not comment on the conditions or confinement of any incarcerated individual, including their work detail assignments. So now how did this tea get out then? I guess because the lawyer spoke to People magazine and feels that their client is getting unfair treatment behind bars. So he probably feels like by me bringing it to the press, it may help his client in some sort of way. I mean, I don't know how that works, but on our end, it's good grist for the mill, I guess. So, as this in June of 2022, Todd and his wife, Julie Chrisley, were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion. Now, prosecutors accused the former reality stars of submitting fake documents to banks when applying for loans. They also alleged that Julie, who's 51, has submitted false credit reports and bank statements when trying to rent a home in California. Now, Todd and his wife reported to their respective prisons in Florida and Kentucky in January of 2023. The dad of 5 was ordered to spend 12 years behind bars, while Julie was given a lighter sentence of 7 years in prison in the federal FMC Lexington in Kentucky. Now, last September, Page Six reported that Todd and Julie's sentences were reduced, and they each had more than a year taken off their time. Oh, that's cute. Now, since being behind bars, Todd and Julie's daughter, Savannah, revealed that her dad has been dealing with several issues. Now, in November of 2023, the Unlocked podcast host 27 revealed that Todd had been retaliated against after she started advocating for prison reform, saying right now they're trying to move him from the facility he's at now because of the latest things that I posted on Instagram. This is what she told Entertainment Tonight at the time. And that's the tough part. The moment you start speaking out, you have to pay for it. Now, Savannah alleged that Todd was barred from arranging phone calls with his attorneys. Now, the following month, Todd spoke out about the horrible conditions at the prison, telling Newsweek's Brian Enton that the food was dated and that a dead cat dropped. Ew, they said a dead cat dropped onto the food. Where the hell did that cat come from? He also claimed that rats and squirrels were found in the storage facility near the inmates' food. Well, look, that is something that I guess some people be like, well, look, you did a crime, you do the time. So now when it comes down to it, I do feel like maybe the conditions could be a little better behind bars. I'm not saying that we need to turn the prison system into the Four Seasons. I'm not saying that. But when it comes down to the situation of rats and squirrels and dead cats and things and all other stuff, you don't want people getting sick from food poisoning and all of the stuff because you got rat droppings and stuff near food. There does need to be better care in regards to that. But I guess maybe in prison, it's hard to capture all them little rodents running around in that situation. I don't know. They got to figure that out. But in regards to the whole situation, if they're trying to retaliate against him because he wants a lighter sentence or whatever the case is, it's like, Todd, you was out here, you and your wife was out here stealing them people money, doing all kinds of fraud and tax evasion and things of that nature. Do your time for the crime. So you trying to get better accommodations or whatever, it's like, no, I don't agree with that. You need to sit behind bars and think about what the hell you did. Now, in regards of the situation of why you were removing your job, I'm definitely curious as to why that happened. And so I'll definitely be keeping abreast of this story as it develops. But I ask all of you the following. What do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on Miss Chrisley and his conditions behind bars, let me know in the comments down below. All right, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Halle Berry, who has got some sort of a victory in her case regarding, the co-parenting agreement between her and her ex-husband, Olivier Martinez, because things were not looking up for her at first. But it looks like the judge ordered in her favor. So she got a little something out of it. And good for her. So it says the Monsters Ball star, who's 58, has been in an ongoing bitter custody row with ex-husband Olivier Martinez, who was also 58, over co-parenting their son Maceo, who's 11. And now a judge sided with the actress after Halle claimed that the French actor was trying to take time off from their co-parenting therapy and requested that he is compelled to participate. Now, the judge agreed with Halle in legal documents obtained by TMZ, but noted that Olivier already complied with her request after she took him to court. Now, the judge also ordered both Halle and Olivier to refrain from discussing child custody issues with their son or making negative comments about each other or their significant others in front of him. Now, last month, Halle claimed that she had spent $200,000 trying to work with Olivier on co-parenting their son in shock court documents. So yeah, I agree with that. If she's being the better person, it's like, yeah, I don't want you. You as a POS. There's another one that I said, like, and I love you, Halle, but you another one like Kim Kardashian and Cardi B. You keep latching on to and laying down with these horrible ass men, and then you surprised with the outcome. You had Gabriel Aubrey was another bum, pretty to look at, but he was a bum. Then you had Olivier, and child, this is the best picture I can find of Olivier because he look a mess now. And I said, this is what happens when you go against, when you start doing a little dirt. Now he supposed to be 58. Child, he look like he pushing 70. Gray hair, looks all emaciated like he need a sandwich. But I don't understand, like, with all that money you accumulating still from Halle, because I believe in their case that if Halle does a movie that she's paid over $2 million, she still has to pay this man money, which I guess is why Olivier don't have to work, because I ain't heard him in a movie in a month of Sundays. So they said that the Oscar winner married Martinez in 2013, the same year they welcomed Maceo, and split in 2016. Their divorce was finalized 7 years later in August of last year, as in 2023, with the pair since embroiled in a bitter custody row. Now, in documents obtained by Us Weekly, Berry claims that she has spent over $200,000 in legal fees, including voluntarily contributing $80,000 towards Martinez's own legal expenses, because clearly since his behind ain't working, she's got to pay his legal expenses on top of hers, which is crazy. But then again, like I said, when y'all the breadwinner, and a lot of these women for years have been doing that to men, can't be surprised when the tables is turned. So it said, excuse me, I hate when I get ice, and I was like, I didn't want to spit it back in the cup because that'd be gross. So I had to swallow it. She claimed Martinez supports himself off the child. Now he out here living off the child support payments. So she has to go to work. She alleged that he objected to pay for a home visit with their therapist during Berry's free time before changing his mind. She claimed Martinez delayed court-stipulated co-parenting therapy despite several follow-ups. She wrote in the document, I have done everything possible to work with Olivier, to communicate with him, and to engage him in the decision-making process regarding our son in an amicable way. Olivier has refused to co-parent and communicate with me in a child-centered way. He has been oppositional and unmovable on all major issues relating to Maceo. Text messages between the pair were also included in the documents with Berry writing to Martinez, I feel very sorry that we are at odds. I had better hopes for us. I always hoped that we do better for Maceo and work together like we did before Van, as in Van Hunt, who she's currently in a relationship with. It's all has gone. Okay, that doesn't make sense. So basically she said it's gone that shit. Sugar honey iced tea since then. We used to try to get along for Maceo's sake. Now you don't want to even try, and I've tried, Olivier. You know I have. However, you just say angry, and I'm not sure why. We must let all this anger go and do better. Maceo deserves that. I'm tired of being called a liar. I'm tired of fighting with you, and I quit. If you want to keep this negativity going, that's on you, but I want no parts of it. We need to band together now more than ever. However, we face it. We need to face it together, not fighting. Just my opinion, but you will make your choice. Now, he responded as well. He said the only way to work together is to work your way. That's not working together. You are playing dirty as you always did, not putting Maceo's best interest first, but karma is coming, no worries. Well, apparently karma did come, but it came in your direction and not hers, because Whether or not this was some plot on her part to make herself look good in the eyes of the court, it worked because she was basically saying, like, you know what, I've been trying to work with you in a way as his mother to try to work with you, but you walking around bitter, you got a damn attitude. Every time I try to work with you on the sake of our child, you want to get stink with your little behind and doing all this other mess. And you trying to say, well, now the only way that I can work is on your schedule. Well, yes, you got to work on her schedule because she's working. She's busy. What the hell are you doing but sitting on your ass, benefiting off of the child support? And then bad mouthing, allegedly, according to her in front of the boy, which is why when he comes back home, she's having issues with him, that he's not listening, that he has behavioral problems. I believe also she revealed that, because I want to look for it, that there was some issues with Maceo. Oh, they basically said, because I'm trying to look for where's it? I believe that they said that he has a slight case of dyslexia and he has some issues learning in school. So he hasn't been doing well in school. They said he has ADHD and mild dyslexia, because I was looking for it. I was like, I know it's in his article. So, they also said that Martinez is causing detrimental harm to their son with his latest motion to delay an upcoming custody hearing. Martinez, on the other hand, filed the week prior to Berry, is taking advantage of him by not allowing him time to prepare and attempting a bootstrap her way into immediate hearing. Well, child, you got all the time in the world, so I don't know why you talking about, I need time to prepare. Prepare for what? Like, if you know what you need in regards to your child, it should not take you weeks upon months to try to figure out what it is you need to do for the sake of your child. I would have a laundry list in my brain that I just get out the pen and paper and be like, okay, this is what I need for our son. This, and this. That's the way I would think if I'm a parent. Like I said, even though I don't have children, I raised a goddaughter because of the situation. I don't want to get into the whole personal situation between her parents or whatever, but I raised a kid. So I understand what it is when it comes to dealing with custody and this sort of thing. So they also said that Martinez had previously stated that he needs an expert to testify on his behalf, which she called nonsensical. What do you need an expert to testify? Like, if it's your kid, you should know your child inside and out. They also said that Halle claims that Martinez is delaying the custody hearing, which will impact the ruling on interventions necessary for the party's struggling child. She also claims the actor is trying to extract more money from her, saying it would be unjust and certainly detrimental to Maceo to continue the September 10, 2024 hearing by 120 days on the basis that the third-party participant witnesses are expected to testify, or that Olivier somehow needs to retain other unidentified experts. Now, shortly after Berry's filing, Martinez fired back that the actress is refusing to set a date that works for him. Well, what works for you? Because you ain't working. That's literally what I've been saying. Like, sir, you don't work. You basically are living off of the child support money. So what time do you need? There's been many a time they said, why am I getting upset? This ain't even my relationship. It's like, well, I'm getting excited, not upset. But it's just like, you need help paying your legal fees. They're saying that he earns several $1 million at this time. But so what time do you have? She's paying for everything. She has to continuously go to work and put out turds. Never Let Go, among other movies. And that recent one that she did with Mark Wahlberg on Netflix. Like, she has to constantly be out here making bad movies so that way she could deal with paying all these bills, including yours. So yeah, when she's busy doing a bunch of movies a year and trying to bring home the bacon, what schedule do you need to deal with this whole situation? So yeah, they basically said that their son is struggling in school and that he is grade levels behind, saying that he's been diagnosed with ADHD and mild dyslexia. So Maceo, they said that Maceo's father is either oblivious to his difficulties or carelessly disregards them, which she says proves he's unfit for custody. So they also said that he's delaying the custody hearing, which will impact the ruling on interventions necessary for the party's struggling child. She also claims the actor is trying to extract, well, we already said to extract the money. So here's the thing. If she understands what it needs, if she understands her child more than him, and he's playing around and trying to do all these other things and pulling like a delay tactic because he wants to continue to financially benefit, then it's time for the legal people to step in and give her a lot more leeway in what they need to do with their child. Because look, if Olivia don't want to do what needs to be done, then Halle got to step up and do what she's doing. And she's trying her damnness. And he doesn't want to do what needs to be done because he's feeling bitter. He's got an attitude. He's probably mad because their relationship didn't work out the way they wanted to work out, or whatever the case is. I don't know. I wasn't in the bedroom with them. I don't know why their relationship didn't work. But my thing is this. A lot of y'all need to grow the hell up and stop thinking about yourselves and realize it. Once you bring a child into the world, because this is what y'all decide to do. So don't get mad. Get mad at yourself. I'll go argue with your mammy, as I always say. You got to step your coochie up. You got to put your feelings aside and think about the kid, because they didn't ask to be brought into this world. So that's all I got to say on that. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. So now let's move on. Let's talk about Madonna. So congratulations to her because her album turned 30 years old. Bedtime Stories, which shout out to Queer T because they put this story together. So for those of you who may not be aware, as you know, well, y'all probably are aware because you watched the show. I am a big Madonna fan. I'm a huge Madonna fan. She is someone like how some of y'all look at, Lady Gaga as being your little icon or whatever the case was. And so many of these other pop girls, Kylie Minogue and so many other divas, Beyonce. Madonna was the one that, growing up as a child of the 80s, who made me feel comfortable with being okay with being a homosexual in a world of people who kind of look down upon us as like, oh, we're out here giving people AIDS, or we're going to hell, or whatever the case was. She was the one that pushed the envelope in regards of like the hypocrisy of Catholicism, a religion that I was raised in. I was raised Roman Catholic. So when she was bringing out these things, but she was kind of shedding a light on the hypocrisies of organized religion, I definitely related to that. And the fact that she had a black Jesus in her Like a Prayer video, a lot of people still mad about that. But I'm like, with the description of what Jesus looked like, Leon is definitely a perfect interpretation of what a black Jesus should look like. But a lot of people want to run around here and act like, oh, you got hair, wool, and dark skin, but y'all want to make Jesus out here look like Maluma. So, with that being said, when she came up with Bedtime Stories, that was like the first album. I think I was like 13 when the album came out. So getting around to, that was like the first album I ever bought with my allowance money. And I went to Tower Records in the city. It's funny how I remember exactly where I got it too. Went to Tower Records, the one big Tower Records that they had in Manhattan. For those of you who grew up in the New York and stuff in the 80s and 90s, y'all know that Tower Records. Went there and got it. And that was the first album that I was aware of Madonna's music, but that was the first album I bought. So it was like, we had Survival. Survival was my song. But then, we had Secret, and then we had Human Nature. But my song was Don't Stop. And I wish that was a damn single. Get up on the dance floor. Everything is grooving. Get up on the dance floor. Got to see you moving. Let the rhythm shake you. Let the rhythm take you. Feel it in your body. Sing la-di-da-di. You know that damn song, too. But anyway, so I believe that was after the erotica era, and everybody was like, oh, her career is over, because she was up in here talking about sex and the sex book. And yeah, it was like, I was too young for that era. I also I was so mad that I was too young that I couldn't even go. Where they have the erotica era? Didn't they do that at oh wait, no, it wasn't that. It was the Bedtime Story thing. I was so mad I was too young. I couldn't get up in, what was it, Hammerstein, Roseland, one of them damn places. Oh, it was it was Jesus. And it's still around. Webster Hall, that's where it was. I was like, I wasn't able to get up in there. I would have been way too damn young. They was not gonna let me in there when MTV hosted a whole bedtime story thing, and everybody wouldn't shut up because she was trying to read a bedtime story literally to the audience. But I think everybody was just so excited and probably hiding Cooter Brown being in that room and drunk. And then you had Junior Vasquez, but we call him every now and again. Like we used to call Madonna Madudu when she would step out of line. That was the inside joke between Kevin Aviance and a whole bunch of other people. You used to call her Madudu when she would get, beside herself. But Junior Vasquez, every now and again, we call him Senior Vasquez. So Madonna, so basically according to the article, it said he was the DJ. Not according to the article, but Junior Vasquez was the DJ that night. And I kind of want them to rekindle their situation, but let's get into the article. So they basically were saying that Madonna's career has been defined by many provocative twists and turns, but in 1994, the question on everyone's mind was, had the Queen of Pop finally gone too far? Now, following the backlash of her erotica album, The Sex Book, and an expletive-laden interview on The Late Show with David Letterman, the singer found herself facing an unprecedented amount of negative criticism. But Madonna doesn't just survive, she reinvents. Now released 30 years ago on October 25th, 1994. Yeah, because I'm a September child, so I forgot that came out in October. Bedtime Stories marked a dramatic shift in both sound and image. Collaborating with heavyweights like Babyface, Dallas Austin, Dave Jam Hall, and Nellie Hooper, who, Nellie Hooper did Bedtime Story, which was written by Bjork. Madonna leaned into the sounds dominating 90s radio, New Jack Swing, R&B, and even a touch of trip hop. The result, a record that redefined her career, offering a melodic bomb to the sting of erotica's backlash. Tapping into lush, dreamier electronic soundscapes, Madonna crafted an album that balanced sensuality, vulnerability, and romance. It was both a response to the criticism of her past and a sonic leap toward her future. I also think because she did a touch of the trip hop, especially working with Bjork and Nellie Hooper, I also believe that Bedtime Stories in so many ways was the prelude to Ray of Light. Because I think, if I can remember off the top of my head, after Bedtime Stories came Ray of Light. And that was a couple of years because, she did Evita, then she got pregnant, then she did there was the Greatest Hits. And so it was a bunch of other things that took place around that time. But we didn't get the proper album years later. And remember when she came out with Secret, that was when people assumed she was pregnant. So the album title Bedtime Stories was chosen to reflect the narrative quality Madonna envisioned for her songs. Though she briefly hesitated, fearing people might misinterpret the title, she ultimately embraced it, finding beauty in its simplicity and its blend of vulnerability and sensuality. The album's artwork, shot by Patrick Dumarchelier at the Eden Rock Miami Beach Hotel, featured Madonna in a soft, ethereal look inspired by Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow, Amaro, Dietrich and DiMaggio, Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean on the cover of a magazine. Okay, then they said dressed in a white negligee and tousled hair with a nose ring. The cover offered a stark contrast to the bold and provocative imagery of her previous era. So yeah, they basically go into a track by track breakdown where it had like the fresh R&B, and then you had all these lush sounds, and then how Inside of Me was a tribute to her late mother. Don't Stop was the album's purest dance moment, recalling her early club hits with a new R&B twist and how light and infectious it is. But they said some critics found it too simple. But it's like, no, that's why I love that song. Why do you think I just did the damn lyrics to the damn song when I was just singing it? Because I love that damn song. But bitch, don't even get me started because I'd Rather Be Your Lover was my song too, where she had Michelle the Digacello on it. Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. Can't you see? I need you beside me. That was my shit too. So she had Michelle Digacello up in there with that smooth R&B production, child. I love that damn song. I don't know what it is with you. I never ever want to make plans with, well, however the lyrics go, but y'all know how the song is. But that was my song. And of course, that was the first of two albums where she had a song, track 7, which she had Forbidden Love. Now, I do like Forbidden Love, the one she did, the central bittersweet ballad that she had, where it was produced by Babyface. Track 7 on this album, but I also, Forbidden Love from the Confessions album, that's my song too. And it's weird how you have two songs called Forbidden Love and they both track 7 on different albums. So, you know, and then Love Try to Welcome Me. I did like the whole, you know, acoustic vibe of it. You had the wind chimes, there was some orchestral strings, you know, so a lot of people sit up here and try to criticize Madonna on her singing, but it's like, but why is it that her strongest songs have always been her ballads? That people prefer the ballads over the dance stuff. Like if you're a hardcore, deep-rooted Madonna fan, they will sit up here and tell you the ballads is where it's at. And you know, I do love the whole Sanctuary song too. Like there was like this whole jazz fusion, a little R&B, but it also had this hypnotic electronic vibe to it. So I just love like how, to me, I feel like when I listen to songs like Sanctuary, it definitely, you know, puts me in a trance. So, and then of course she had the Bedtime Story song as well, where it was co-written by Bjork, which is basically one of her most experimental songs on the record. And it was a huge hit in the clubs, but I don't think it did well on the top 40 because it was like it was too out there, it was a little too weird. And you know, top 40 radio plays. I don't know why people get so caught up in charts and things. I've always thought like charts are like polls, they're all BS at the end of the day. To me, I'm always like, you know, music and art is subjective. So I go by that more so than oh, it didn't do well in this. Okay, who cares? But the clubs live for it. So, and the clubs at the time, not so much anymore, but back in the day, clubs made, especially the gay clubs, they will make or break a hit, a song. So if you heard it in the clubs, that's basically where it was just like, okay, now this is determined to really do well wherever it was. So that's why a lot of times artists use DJs to get the word out with their music. Now, you know, with social media, you don't need it as much. Then of course we have Take a Bow, which is the album closer. And I love the fact that, you know what, where was it? The album had like 11 tracks on there. So Madonna's albums back in the day, you know, they always had pretty much a short run. But Take a Bow was a huge hit. And it spent 7 weeks at number one on the Billboard Hot 100. And then it also served in so many ways because remember, when she did the Take a Bow video, how you saw the inspiration for Evita. It was very Ava Perón when you watch it and that whole thing. And we know Madonna thinks she's slick. She was using that as her little audition tape. So I was like, I want that part. I want to be Ava Perón. So I'm going to show y'all that I can look the part and give you Ava Perón in my demeanor, in the outfits and that sort of thing. And I definitely love what she had up in there. So yeah, while she was a little rough around the edges with a rock and very in your face and made a lot of people uncomfortable, Bedtime Story, in my opinion, was the saving grace. And then on top of that, you know, years later, she went off and did Evita. She did the soundtrack, you know, not Ava Perón. She played Ava Perón. But what's her name from Agatha all along? Patti LuPone is out here feeling how she feel about her and throwing her little shade at Madonna. But look, she got to play the part. Don't be mad. You up doing what you doing, she off here doing what she doing. So what I would have really loved to have happened is that during that era, we would have gotten Madonna to tour that album. But it didn't happen because, you know, she went off and did Evita in 96. She also, you know, had a lot of things going on, but she did do the promotional thing behind it where she had her little pajama party at Webster Hall. And then she did a couple of live appearances. She did she performed Take a Bow at the American Music Awards. She also performed Bedtime Story at the 1995 Brit Awards, where she had that fan with that horrible, you know, weave in her head, and the hair was basically the star of the show. But she had the white gown on, and she had the waist length extensions, and then it was kind of given like this: I'm floating and you know, traveling. You know, as the lyrics goes. I'm traveling in the arms of unconsciousness. So I think she was just trying to give that whole vibe. However, the lighting was a little too bright, and then the wind machine was doing a little too much, and the hair, you know, couldn't handle it. So it was looking a little mess. But for the most part, the performance is still memorable. People still talking about it, and people are still talking about this record. But I just hate sometimes because I'm like, damn, I feel so old with this whole situation about, you know, whenever we mention a Madonna album and it's like, oh, this album's turning 30, this album's turning 40, this album's turning 18, this album's turning 25. I'm like, God damn. It just goes to show. But you know what? I'm glad I grew up in the time that I grew up in because I get to appreciate the past, the present, and whatever comes in the future. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you excited that, you know, do you have any stories or any memories in regarding this whole Madonna bedtime story situation? And where were you at the time when you bought this record? Whatever your thoughts are on this era, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so Robert says to think Warner knew another #1 hit was there with Don't Stop, but she won and got the flop. I like Human Nature is a good song. The video definitely works. But yeah, it didn't do well it didn't do well on the charts. But yeah, Don't Stop should have been released as a single. And I hate the fact that, you know what, the labels act like they know what they talking about. Just like the same thing with Kylie Minogue. I was like, look, if y'all do not release Taboo as the next single, because I'm hearing that's not the next single. If y'all don't release Taboo as a single, y'all are idiots over there. You marketing people don't know what the hell y'all are doing. That song has everything going for it. It's got these ABBA-esque sonically, it's got that ABBA vibe to it. It's also like, it's an earworm. So it's literally like one, I feel like out of all, and I love the attention too, but that song is literally, I play that song. I cannot tell you how many times I listen to that song. I keep it on repeat. Like I remember like anytime I hear Taboo, I literally rewind it and I'll listen to it like 4 times in a row before I move on to the rest of the album. So it is definitely like one of those songs, like it's pop perfection. It's everything, it has everything going for it. The only problem is it's too damn short. So and that's probably why she does that, because she knows. I was like, oh, I need y'all to keep going back for more with that song. And you said Sophie Ellis Bextor's Freedom of the Night video was live. Oh, I guess I have to check that out. Because I was listening to it yesterday when I was on my way back from the gym. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that song out. Okay, so now, oh, Pit Crew. So now another member, shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race. You know, they made history, or Drag Race Herstory, I should say. Drag Race España, actually, I should say, made Drag Race Herstory this season so far, the recent season that's on. Because they made history because one of their members of the pit crew, Guillermo Flores, aka Miggy Yellow, is competing on the current season of Drag Race España. I'm a couple of episodes behind. I haven't really been. I need to catch up on Drag Race stuff. I actually started rewatching season 10 when Eureka came on and the Vixen and Aquaria and all of them. And Miss Vanjie went home first. She was the pork chop of that season. So I started rewatching that season because I've kind of been disappointed. Oh my God, I just remembered the finale of Drag Race Global All Stars is out. So I don't know who won. Probably somebody that speaks English. Because we know how y'all doing over there with the obviousness of Drag Race. No spoilers, but I'm going to definitely check it out later when I get back or whatever. But I'm going to be honest. I don't particularly like Canada's Drag Race. I just feel like the queens annoy me and those judges are just god-awful. All 3 of them. I like you, Brooklyn Heights, but not as a host. But apparently they have their second, there's somebody who was a pit crew member from Drag Race Canada who was actually going to be the second person to compete on Drag Race as a drag queen. So Manny Wang, I'm going to show y'all a picture of him because I have all of his Instagram open actually. Where, okay, so that's him, cute and stuff. That's him on the right. I was trying to see if then they got the boot. Look at the booty. Hey, cheeks. Okay, now let's go back to this one. So we can leave it there for now. So his name is Ming Yao, actually, and they said he first appeared on season 1 of Canada's Drag Race as a member of the pit crew, but now the stud is back to compete as a queen named Minnie Wang. Now, Wang joins the upcoming 5th season of the series hosted by RuPaul's Drag Race star Brooklyn Heights. As you can clearly see, things have changed, Wang laughed in the newly released Meet the Queens interview. I'm bringing Gaging excellence and representing every person that has having a midlife crisis as well. Well, shout out to the I don't know how old he is, but honey, Shout out to the girls out here with a midlife crisis. And I don't like the fact that he's 39. So I should say that. And he's an Australian who is living in Toronto and becomes the second queen who formerly appeared on the show in the pit crew following Drag Race España's Miguel Jello. I was trying to say how they be saying it over there. Say that, and here's the thing. He's a good looking guy. So I'm here for it. And let me just show y'all. Okay, so there's the recent one with him in regards of like giving body yada yada. But I hope like in regards of the drag can they actually bring, because as far as I know, McGee is actually doing well over there on Drag Race. So I like what, first of all, he's very good looking. And then in drag, it was like he's serving it up too. So shout out to anybody who wants to go out there and do what they need to do. And the midlife crisis thing, I get it's a joke, but look, in a lot of situations, everybody don't have the ability to just do things when they're young. As long as you got breath in your body and you living on this earth, you should be able to get up and do the things that you want to do without judgment. And if you 45 and you want to get up today, you want to be a drag queen and get up out there and perform in front of a live audience, go ahead and do it. If you 50 years old and you always had that dream of putting out a pop record and you want to be the next Kylie Minogue, male or female, and you 50 years old and you want to put out your debut album at 50, go ahead and do it. Why should everything always be, situated on you got to be 18 or 16 or 14 or 21 in order to make your dreams come true? Life happens. Things happen. Not everybody has the ability to get out there and pound the pavement when they're 12. And then they end up like Liam Payne. So, and that's no shade of Liam Payne, but I'm just saying it's like when you're young, everything don't have to be fixated on the young. If you have, it gives, look, in the words of, oh my God, I'm not even going to say the name because I drew a brain fart. It happens. As a wise older woman, Bevy Smith, now it came to me. As Bevy Smith once said, it gets greater later. So, if you, like I said, if you have that ability in your mind to go off and do whatever you want to do at whatever age, do it. Don't pay these heifers no mind of like, oh, well, I should have did this when I was young. For what? For why? So that's him in drag. No boobs or anything. However, and I was like, because I don't like, some of the drag be looking whatever, but that one last season of Drag Race Canada, I was like, you walking around, you didn't tuck, you got no boobs or whatever, you give it full on man in a wig. And you won Canada's Drag Race. I'm like, you looked a mess. But I guess there's no requirement for taste over there because, as somebody who grew up around drag in New York City, I don't know, I always expected top notch. In Brooklyn, you could be a little messy. In Manhattan, it's got to be polished. And sidebar, I got to check out that Drag the Musical with Alaska and so many of the other people. I've been hearing this getting rave reviews. So yeah, she feels the rush. He feels it in that touch. And then there they go. Now this looks way better. I'm like, okay, now you give me breasts, you give me a cinch waist, you are tucked for the gods. The tights is tighting. The wig is looking, the wig look like money well spent. Now that is giving me drag. So it's cute or whatever. Like I'm feeling like she about to come down that steps and do a dip once she get to the bottom of that step. Which I'm like, okay, well, make sure your back ain't hurting. So now, what I should point out for those of you who are interested in watching Canada's Drag Race, because I'm going to be honest, I was not going to watch, but because they're bringing this up in the show, this situation, I'm curious. So I'll check it out to see how it is. But Canada's Drag Race is not one of my favorites. I will say this also, I was never really interested in Drag Race Down Under. However, after seeing that trailer yesterday, because I think it was yesterday, the day before, I don't remember, but there's been a lot of Drag Race stuff lately. When I saw the new season when Michelle Visage hosted, I'm like, finally, y'all got the show together where it looks interesting to watch. And on top of that, they have queens from past shows. So Queen Kong, people that previously were on Drag Race are sitting on the panel and judging. They even got Sasha Colby in one of the episodes. And I was like, okay, now y'all got me interested in watching. This is what y'all should have been doing in the beginning, especially in the American version. We've been saying that. Bring back some of the old queens. Have Alyssa Edwards sit up on that panel. Have a Bibi Zahara Benet sit up there. Have an Aquaria sit up there. have Bob the drag queen up on that panel. Or if you're doing a comedy thing, have a Miss Cracker. Or if you're doing with choreography and dance, even though, because I'm just thinking about it, and I told you I'm watching season 10 again. They had Alyssa Edwards do the Pharmarusical. So why not incorporate the queens of the past and become a part of it? The ones who are fan favorites and stood out, and have them help out the queens on the show, because it gives sort of that what I've been saying for the longest, that American Idol sensibility. They hired somebody finally as a judge that has been where the queens are. Well, not the queens, but the American Idol contestants. So they got Carrie Underwood on the show now. So having her there, it actually helps. And I was like, why don't they do that with Drag Race? It's because that Rue don't want to be upstaged. And to me, it's just like, it makes the show way more entertaining. That, yeah, you could have the queen of all queens there, but also have somebody who has that experience. I also saw there was something else, since we talking about American Drag Race, that Law Roach was asked if he would be down to being a judge on Drag Race. He was like, if they ask him, he'll do it. So the olive branch is out there, Drag Race, World of Wonder. Get him up there. We tired of, no shade to Ross and Carson. It's time to clean slate and bring us some new blood. And if people get mad because there's too many black people up on there, go argue with your mammy. Take the racism to where y'all usually like taking it, over to Twitter, because that's what y'all do any damn way. So we could have RuPaul up there, Michelle Visage, and we could also have Law Roach, and we could also have T.S. Madison. There's your 4. Plus, you can have your little celebrity guest judge come in every now and again and do what needs to be done. That, to me, will make the show way more interesting. I don't care the race or whatever the case is, but if we got somebody that can bring some fresh blood up in there and make it entertaining, especially someone who understands fashion and clothes and is a homosexual, why can't we have Law Roach up there? To me, I feel like he was a better fit. He's a better fit for Drag Race than he was for Legendary. So I say, let's say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all excited to check out this new season of Drag Race Canada and see like another pit crew member make it on the show and see if he makes it further or makes it as far as McGee? I don't know. Like I said, I've missed out. I haven't caught up on Drag Race España, so I'm like maybe 2 episodes behind. So I don't know if he's still there or if he's been eliminated. So if he makes it real far, then like McGee is on España, or gets the pork chop or gets pork chopped. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's get into our final topic, and let's give a huge congratulations to Judge Mathisse's son, homosexual son, Greg Mathis Jr., and his partner, Elliot Cooper, who tied the knot. We do talk a lot about relationships. However, I always live for, especially if it's black love. I love me a black man, honey. I love men in general, but shout out to my chocolates. Shout out to my chocolate men, honey. So we got to give it up especially if we talk about same gender loving or black love on this show. I always like to highlight my black love. So that's why I brought this up. So Greg Mathis Jr., who I didn't even know that Greg Mathis had a gay son until the reality show and stuff. So that made it more interesting in me and wanting to pay attention and see what's going on with them. But yeah, so shout out to Gay Magazine for putting this up. But I also saw it was mentioned on Queer Tea and a bunch of other places too. So yeah, so Mathis Sr. is well known, as you know, for his televised courtroom trials. Greg, who's 35, made a name for himself after appearing in the 2022 family-based docuseries Mathis Family Matters. I almost called it Family Values because I was thinking of the Braxtons. So it said it follows Mathis Sr., his wife Linda, who we already know they're getting a divorce, and their grown children, Greg, Jade, Kamara, and Amir, and grandkids. Now, viewers of the show were able to watch as Greg and Elliot's relationship grew deeper. In the finale episode, Elliot, 40, got down on one knee and asked Greg to move in with him. So now we got the latest, where they've actually tied the knot. And we do have the photo, courtesy of People Magazine, of them tying the knot. So they said that we've been together for a very long time. This is what Elliot began. We've been through a whole lot together. I couldn't be here without you. And with that, I wanted to ask, will you move to LA with me? Greg responded, I sure will. Now, the two men first met in 2016. They married on Monday in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. So yeah, so before we get to the rest of the article, I just want to show first of all, I'm living for those outfits. I would definitely wear this look. I would wear more or less. I mean, they look. Wait, they are the same outfit. It's just one is in blue and the other's in look like purple. Well, purple. First of all, I like the one on the right. Somebody said this just ain't right. Please take it down. Hold on. Drop dead. Send. I was like, shut up. I just hope I don't get penalized for that, but whatever. So yeah, these are the outfits. And then we have these outfits looking good. Okay. I'm liking the carousel of outfits, but hold on, let's leave it here because I like that one. So what else does the article say? So they said that we're so thankful for your love and support as we've gone from Washington, D.C. to Matthysse Family Matters, the men said in a joint Instagram post. And now to officially starting our family in LA, your support means everything. They said their fathers, Greg Matthysse Sr. and Sergeant Calvin Cooper, officiated the small ceremony, which had 15 guests. The happy couple exclusively told people they wanted an intimate ceremony, an intimate family celebration to mark their nuptials. They said they plan a bigger celebration in LA at a later date. But that's great because I've always said that if I ever got married and I found the love of my life and I actually decided to settle down finally, that's definitely what I would want. I want something small and intimate, and then afterwards we have the big celebration so that we have everybody who genuinely cares about us to be up in there and to enjoy the situation. So they also went on to say that when we first started dating, the first trip I took Greg on was to Cabo. It was a surprise birthday trip where I had family do a personal video for him. So they wed on the beachfront of the Waldorf Astoria Resort. Now, as for asking the dads to officiate, Greg said because my dad is a judge, a famous one too, he's officiated everyone else's wedding. And so I have always seen him in all these weddings across the country. And I've just always had this vision in my mind of when I get married. I hope that the person I marry is going to be okay with this because I want my dad to officiate with my wedding. And Elliot's dad, Sergeant Calvin Cooper, is actually in law enforcement too, which is funny. It's a note about us that we always laugh about. So it's like, yeah, they're both in, law enforcement in their own ways. Where Greg is in the judge department, because now they removed my comment because it was like, they mad at me because I told somebody to drop dead. I knew that was going to happen. Whatever, child. So, now, reflecting on the day, Greg told people, I would definitely say it's a dream come true. I know that's cheesy, but it is. It's everything I've ever wanted. So there is a lot of photos in regards to them. If y'all would definitely want to check out their photos and everything, I guess you can go on their website. I mean, you can go on the Instagram page, Greg Matthysse Sr., and you can go on the husband, Elliot Cooper's page as well and check their stuff out. But, congratulations to y'all. I always like seeing people who genuinely have a love and respect and a care for each other out here. It's just like, it's funny how people can spew their homophobia when we clap back and cuss y'all out. They y'all want to remove comments, somebody's bullying. Yeah, y'all can't take the heat, stay the hell out of the kitchen. So yeah, we got to constantly come out here. And I know people always talk about, so why do y'all always want to talk about gays? Y'all always want to bring things up because strength in numbers. And we need to show out here, especially when people complain so much about when Black gay men particularly get in relationships, is always with somebody either a light-skinned Latino or somebody white. So look, I'm showing y'all because I'm tired of that, that argument. And yeah, that argument is valid in certain situations. But look, I want to show y'all that it actually is possible that you can see two men who are Black get together. And it is possible out here. So I say that to say, whatever your thoughts are on this situation, and tread lightly with the bigoted homophobia and stuff, because you will get cussed out. So let me know in the comments down below. And y'all know I ain't got no problem cussing a bitch out. So I say all that to say we are done with today's show. That was all the topics that we have. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning into this episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll probably be back on Monday, more than likely to tell my experience working this damn Trump rally, chat, which I'm not looking forward to. But look, I'm getting paid to do it. It is what it is. So I'll have to see if I'm actually able to even talk about it, because I don't know what the situation is. But if I can't talk about it, if I don't bring it up on Monday, then you already know the answer, that I can't say nothing because of situations, and I ain't trying to get fired from a job that I love, working in live media and all the other stuff. But anyway, so I still have to say thank you all for watching. Tune in. I'll be back on Monday with a brand new episode of Chris Savile Unfiltered. I'm going to be busy today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So yeah, I'll be back with a brand new show. Love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings. And how you doing?